Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it.
My name's Jay Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer, the Koob.
I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up today. You know what, Reid? You might be honest.
All right, here's what's going on in the Nest. We are coming to you from the Banquet Studio. Celebrate your birthday at the Banquet Bar. Amazing drinks, great vibes, and unforgettable memories. Book your party today at thebanquetbar.com. Yes, the Banquet, where you can go for those birthday celebrations, for a little bit of bowling on Mondays, for some late night snacks. And I can tell you what, it is going to be a banquet of hockey for fans in the first round. Just a glorious time of year for fans of the sport, because it's pretty much wall-to-wall hockey. If you work traditional hours, and we realize not all of you do, but if you got sort of a 9 to 5, the 8:30 to 4:30, maybe the 10 to 6, like you and I, Jay, ish. If you got a 2:30 to 6 shift, like Jay and I work, but like the first round schedule came out, and you can go home, watch hockey until you go to bed, at least through the first week or so, when all the series are going on and there's not any danger of series ending in 4 games or 5 games or anything like that. I assume that you have heard by now, when the Oilers play, it's going to be a Monday start in Los Angeles, an 8 o'clock Mountain Time game. Every second day, starting on April 21st, is this series. April 21st, 23rd in LA, 25th, 27th in Edmonton, 29th, and then May 1st and May 3rd for games 5, 6, and 7. They didn't set game times for games 5 through 7, and they don't do that because they don't know if they're going to have double headers or not, right? So who knows? Maybe we'll get some games that start at 7 o'clock if some other series end early. So for the first 3 games, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and 7:30, we will have plenty of time for our predictions and yours as we move along throughout the course of the afternoon. I noticed something, Koob. Can you bring that up? If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to say this. If you're not, if you're on the audio stream, listening through iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or if you're on a podcast listening in the future. So Koob puts these together. What do we call these every day? The finger picks, finger paints. What are these?
Thumb drops.
Thumb drops. Okay, so this is the thumb. What's it actually called, Koob? It's a finger or a thumb or something.
A thumbnail.
It's a thumb. So it's a thumbnail.
So
it's an image to promote the show on YouTube. Okay, so this picture, if you can't see it, it's a picture of Jay and me. We're in every one. There's the Stanley Cup kind of ghost-like behind us. And then there's a picture of Janmark fresh off a scrum against the LA Kings. That's from Monday's game, Koob. And Janmark is like giving the guy, meet me in the back alley in 7 minutes and we'll see who's tougher, hombre. And, I realized throughout this season that Matias Janmark has been ridiculed, criticized, mocked, whatever you want to say, for the fact that he, scored 2 goals, and one was an empty netter and one was a deflection, I think, off his pant leg or off his sock, something like that. And even our own Tom Gazzola has said it, that Matias Janmark has not shot a puck past a goalie this season. And I know we get a lot of, why does Janmark keep playing? Why is Knobloch obsessed with Janmark? You know why Janmark keeps playing? You know why I like Janmark? Because he's one of the few Oilers that'll give a guy that expression and that hand gesture in a scrum. He's a little bit nuts. Like, I've called him a bit of a wild animal out there. And so I saw that that we had on our thumbnail, our promo for the show on YouTube. And I thought, that's a great freeze frame of Janmark. Like, he's like, they call him the janitor because he will muck it up. He'll put his hand in the toilet to get the $100 bill. You know? I told you that story, didn't I?
No.
Okay, so Jake Neighbors, when he's with the Oil Kings, was on Inside Sports a lot, and he's been on this show. He's a great interview, as you know.
Yeah.
and he's going through the interviews for the draft. And so usually I will ask the kids that are going through that draft process, what's the weirdest question you got asked by any teams? And I can't remember if it was the Blues that asked him or another team, but he said he got asked, so you're in a bathroom, in a public washroom, do you pick up a $20 bill off the floor or the $100 bill out of the toilet? And I said, what did you say? And Neighbors told me that he said, I go after the 100 because I'm not afraid to go to the dirty areas.
What an answer.
I think the point of some of these questions is just to see if the kid has an answer. Just to see if he can think on the fly and put something together and react to something unusual, right? Because my answer would have been, I pick up the 20 because I don't want to go to the toilet and risk getting something and knocking myself out of the lineup for the team.
I think the only answer is I grab the 20 and I use it to scoop out the 100. Right? I mean, you can fold it down the spine of the 20 and use it as some sort of
I don't know if there was one thing that you only have
a shovel implement.
Or how about this, guys? You pick up the 20 and you give it to somebody else. You give somebody $20 to pick up the $100 for you.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't know if the state of the toilet was described. I mean, I think it was.
You'd have to assume it was a clean toilet.
Yeah, but it's
toilets aren't actually that dirty.
Well, yeah, fair enough. I guess there probably are dirtier things.
I think there are much dirtier things in the bathroom than toilet.
Really? Like what?
The floor. Like, we're talking a public restroom.
Yeah, I guess public washroom. Yeah, fair enough.
Right? The floor, the handles.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, that's disgusting.
I mean, at least you're going cheek to cheek on the toilet, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, the facts are facts, Reid.
Anyway, so
meandering already, aren't we?
That's why Matias Janmark plays, in my mind. That's why he's in my playoff lineup, probably. If everybody else is healthy, maybe he's the one that comes out. Anyway.
Well, it does give you some pause to think that it would take a lot to have him not in the lineup. A lot of, I guess, healthy players coming back or players playing well, and they're on this new look Oilers team.
Did you watch the game last night?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
I was surprised San Jose was that uninterested in the game. Well, early they were. And good for Skinner to get the shutout. A shutout's a shutout. He deserves credit for it. He made the saves he needed to make. And quite frankly, he needed to make a few early.
Sure,
the Oilers weren't great in the first 6 or 7 minutes. And then they pretty much took over, I thought.
Two takeaways from that. The Celebrini snap show at the end after Corey Perry's empty netter. I thought that was interesting. I liked it from Celebrini.
Was he the one that slammed his stick? I didn't even. Yeah,
I mean, the season's over, but you just get a sense that, that team feels there's more in the tank, right? That's a competitive guy. I just like seeing that. And it looked like McDavid was skating around with a U18 team at times.
Yeah.
That was just incredible. Like it is, he's buzzing.
There were a couple of rushes after which I thought he's just trying stuff.
Yeah. He tried taking on like 3 defenders at one point.
He tried a couple shots where it's like, how did he must have known that was going to get blocked. And we've seen Draisaitl do that at times too, especially in the preseason, where it's like, 130 backhand, 130 foot backhand pass while I'm off balance, falling away from my target. Yeah, I'll try it. It's the preseason. Just see if it'll work in a game.
It was nice, to see McDavid in that type of form.
Yes. And Skinner made the saves he needed to make. I think, again, he'll start game 1. I think it would have had to go pretty bad for him not to start game 1. And now we just see who's healthy as they practice in San Jose for a couple of days and then go to Los Angeles to start that one off on Monday. We're going to have extensive playoff coverage on Edmonton Sports Talk. Of course, talking Oilers a lot, storylines from other series. And we're going to have pre- and post-game shows live on location, led by our host, amazing man, Tom Gazzola. So now we know the dates of this game. So game 1, that's our neighborhood Boston Pizza, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Westgate Boston Pizza, just a few blocks to the, which way is that? South of us by West Edmonton Mall. So it's about a 6-minute drive from where we are.
Mm-hmm.
or a nice healthy walk, perhaps.
Probably a 46-minute walk.
I think we could walk it quicker than that.
Really? Would you want to, though?
Yeah, it's not a great walk. Like along
it's not
170.
really a lot of
it's not,
sights
it's
to
not a
see.
pedestrian area.
No.
Yeah.
Beats traffic.
But Koob just put it up on YouTube. So Westgate Boston Pizza for game 1. Hudson's on Bourbon Street for game 2. The home games were at the Ice House in the Plaza. I'm going to join Tom for some hits on those. Hudson's White Ave for game 5, if there is a game 5. Da, da, da. and other locations coming up beyond that. So we're going to be all over it as we always are here at Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. All right. So you can get in touch with us, and we want you to get in touch today. And I think this is the type of topic that people will get in touch about because it is prediction day, because we're going into the playoffs. So you can text us on the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. You can email reid@edmontonsportstalk.com. You can email jay@edmontonsportstalk.com. And you can also post your messages in the nasty chat, the chat function on YouTube. And if you are there, we encourage you to give us a little thumbs up as well. Click that thumbs up button underneath the screen. That helps us build the show and makes everybody just feel happy that there's a little thumb up there. So here's what we want, and Jay and I will be doing our predictions over the course of the show. We would like your prediction for the Oilers series, who wins and in how many games, and we want who beats who in the Stanley Cup final, okay? And bonus points, and you're more likely to get your message read on air if you give us something amusing as part of your prediction. You know, something that's maybe fun or quirky or silly. You know, like you want to write in, hey guys, Oilers in 6, McDavid too good. Jets beat Capitals in the Stanley Cup final. And, Gary Bettman decides to boo the audience back when he returns the...
Yeah.
So, something a little quirky or a little silly like that along the way too. That's your assignment for the afternoon. And we will, well, not me, Jay actually, will do his best to compile the more interesting predictions.
As always.
Yeah. Well, you got a special function on your computer.
Yeah, it's called my fingertip.
The save prediction button. So that's your assignment today and how you can interact with us. That's going to be fun.
Well, Collingwood Rob is already in. Oilers in 6, he states. Now,
KD?
he didn't have the homework yet,
That's fine.
but now he can add to it. But Oilers in 6.
KD says Oil in 4. Matt Hyman, who I believe is a Winnipeg Sports Talk listener, says Kings in 3. Oh, Matt Hyman.
Oh, Matt.
Matt Hyman's going to want to hear our predictions for the Jets and Blues series. He's also going to want to hear Jamie Thomas,
Yes.
who is one of our guests. He covers the Winnipeg Jets. He's the host of the Ground Control podcast, the official podcast of the Winnipeg Jets. Friend of the program. We've already had him on several times. I've known Jamie for years. Great guy, great broadcaster. And our weekly guest, Jed Roberts, double E alum, but very passionate about the Edmonton Oilers as well. He'll check in with some of his thoughts too. How you feeling going into this, Jay? Doing a full slate of Stanley. I mean, we've done our preseason predictions, and that's another thing we're going to do because we're accountable.
Sure.
And we like to laugh at ourselves. We're going to tell you how we did on our preseason predictions. It's not like we filed those and forgot about them.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we do for the playoff teams? Is our Stanley Cup final prediction still possible? We each picked the record for the Edmonton Oilers at the beginning of the season.
As well as some listeners.
One of us might have been shockingly close. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Okay? Think about what I'm saying here. So we'll do a fun little recap of that before we dive into the predictions coming up.
I like predictions. I'm not afraid to give them because they mean nothing.
They really do. They're a fun way to talk about what's coming up.
Fun way to get involved and look at matchups and see what you think, the X factor is in each series. I love that stuff. If you take our picks and go to the bank or go to Coolbet and try and wager on that is on you. These are not at all accurate. They will not be accurate for the most part.
Mine are guaranteed to be correct, actually.
Mine too. So do it.
Drew Dowdy in the Nasty Chat says, Kings beat Oilers and then win the Cup. Connor McDavid admits he wants to be my friend.
Best friend.
Oh, best friend. Sorry, Drew.
That's a difference.
Sorry about that, Drew.
Because I've often referred to you as my best friend, but you refer to me as your friend. Huge difference.
Great to have you tuning in this afternoon. Yes, a very hockey and playoff and prediction heavy show, as it should be. But we are, of course, still going to do our off-topic topic for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout, 780-454-4536.
Well, see, Reid, on EST, you have listeners that can listen at specific times of the day. Not everybody can listen from 6 to 6. So for those of you that have and can, pardon my redundancy in bringing this up again, but there was a hot debate today, which started in the Hangout. It carried over into Oil Stream. It actually started on the morning show, with Dustin. Carried into the Hangout, continued on, and I'm going to bring it up again. I'm not going to go into too much depth, but here's the Coles notes. Tommy and Dustin were at Clairview BP's yesterday on location for the Oil Stream, and they were treated very well. The staff was bringing out their new menu items for them to try. So one of them was a maple bacon poutine, which at one point Tom brought a side plate and took his, a portion onto his plate.
MVP, bruh.
Wasn't
he our quarterback last year? Or was it MBT?
MBT. Tom took his portion of the poutine and put it on a side plate, assuming Dustin and he both assumed that the rest was for Dustin. Now, Dustin went off. From what I've heard, I wasn't there, so I'm hearing this secondhand. Dustin went off, was greeting a lot of the nasties that were there, in eating food elsewhere. I know the Godfather T-Roy was there, so he was consuming some of his pizza. So Tom felt that this half plate of poutine was not getting the attention it deserved. It was getting cold, in Tommy's words and opinion. So Tom decided it was time for him to take it on himself and eat it. So there's two sides of this. What side you're on. Was that right of Tom to do, or was that Dustin's to determine what he wanted to do with it? So we don't have to hammer down on that, but it did bring up this topic of what is proper etiquette for sharing food. Okay, now I understand, and you can present them to us. There's different circumstances. There's a house party. There's you and your 3 buddies out for beer and wings, and you get appetizer. Those are different situations, I understand. But what is your tips for proper etiquette of sharing food? Like, for instance, Reid, let's say myself, you and the Koob go out, and we order some appies. We get some dry ribs. We get a spinach dip. We get some matzo sticks. Okay? Do you feel obligated to have 1/3 of each of those?
Yes.
Me too.
I would count how many, I would count how many matzo sticks there were.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't divisible by 3, I would immediately think, oh no. What
You'd go lower though. You wouldn't go over your
I would
quota.
go lower.
Yeah.
And then I would see how much everybody enjoyed them, including myself. And then I would see who got an extra stick or 2.
That would be the unwritten rule, I think. But then when you go to a house party and there's just appetizers sitting out, you don't have to be equal in what you take there.
No, that's where you're just roaming around.
That's more a common
stuff.
area,
yeah.
right? So give us your rules, your etiquette for sharing food.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts? Is it first come, first serve? I know inevitably with our situation, Reid, there's going to be 1 matzo stick left, and no, you have it. No, you take down that last matzo stick.
Right. But if I liked the matzo sticks a lot, and there was another item you liked a lot, then I would have no trouble saying, okay, cool, you seem to like that.
You take the dry rib.
You take
I'm going to handle the matzo stick.
Yeah.
I like it.
It depends on how well you know the person, family.
Absolutely.
Spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, sibling, stuff like that.
A lot of factors at play.
It really is.
And if you're sick of the topic, That's fine. You don't have to
Then send in
respond to
your
our
playoff
off-topic
predictions.
topic.
Then send in your playoff
yeah.
predictions. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Who's going to win between the Oilers and Kings, and who's going to win the Stanley Cup or be in the Stanley Cup final?
Well, we have a lot to get to here. We're fired up for Jemco. We're going to get to that next. We're going to quickly almost give ourselves a grade for how we did on our preseason predictions, and then it's full-on predictions for the first round. And we're going to discuss each series. I mean, we're not just going to sit here and go A and 5, B. It's like, we're going to have some fun.
Oh, yeah, babe.
Chat about it.
Look at this.
Look at some storyline. Because
I got notes, man.
It's the storylines, right?
Yes.
And it's the what ifs. It's the upsets. That's what really drives all the interest in the postseason. So we'll get to that. Keep giving us the thumbs up on YouTube. We're off to a good start, but don't slow down. Here comes the Koob.
NHL regular season action wraps up with Ottawa hosting Carolina, the Flames meeting the Kings, the Caps and Pens going at it, while the Lightning and Rangers duke it out on a 7-game slate. And Sharks' first overall pick, 18-year-old Macklin Celebrini, has committed to joining Team Canada for the upcoming World Championship in May. And at the Women's World Championship out in Czechia right now, Canada glided past Japan in their quarterfinal matchup. The score was 10-1 with Renita Fast picking up 3 assists. Elsewhere, Gavin McKenna and his Tigers look to sweep the Raiders in round 2 of WHL playoff action. McKenna has 22 points in just 8 playoff games this season. After recording 10 goals, 39 points through 69 games, Neal Pionk has signed a 6-year extension with the Jets worth a total of $42 million. And in baseball, there's one game live right now. 3 games wrapped up. Right now, it's in the 5th inning between the Giants and Phillies. The Phillies leading 5-1 in that affair. This sports update is brought to you by Clover Bar Feeds. And Clover Bar Feeds has all the animal feed you'll need. Get top-notch service and selection from their family-owned business. Visit Clover Bar Feeds at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or call them at 780-467-5014. Reid and Jay have more once we get back from break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're on the loop.
2 guys and a goalie.
The later they start, the better. I mean, you got a bunch of guys coming back from injury. The later you start, the better. That extra day could be the difference.
It could be the difference in Frederick or not. Maybe.
Yep, in game 1. And it could be the difference of do you rush a guy back even a day? Yes, a day makes a difference. A day too early. So it benefits the Oilers.
2 guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Spin to win Fridays at the Banquet. Every Friday, spin the wheel for a chance to win big and save on your bill. It's that easy. Spin, win, and save. Don't miss out. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Downsizing, upsizing, or staging your home to sell? Sentinel Storage is Edmonton's team for affordable storage solutions. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Sentinel Storage, proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Must you click? Click. Must you click? Click, click. Click, click, click.
All right, that is the Thumb Click remix or whatever it's called, put together by our own Zachary Kubusch, part of our ongoing mission to seek out new life, explore new worlds, and get as many thumbs up on YouTube as possible. That's the third part of the mission. We're not going to boldly go where no one has gone before. We want more clicks on YouTube. That's the mission. By the way, speaking of stuff that's mixed together, at some point today, we'll play the, what did we just call the EST playoff song?
Yeah.
That debuted this morning on the Nielsen show.
Yes.
I quite liked it. It's to the tune of Pour Some Sugar on Me. Well, I can do a little bit of a
Play the opening.
Play a little bit of a teaser here.
Step inside Rogers Place. Play La Bamba. Baby!
Play La Bamba, baby!
Well, we're a dangerous team when we're rolling and we're healthy, and we are healthy.
Cup is on the line, baby. Come and get
Okay,
it.
there's a little teaser.
Wow.
That's the little teaser. That's pretty well put together to the tune of Pour Some Sugar on Me. Nice stuff. Exciting stuff at Edmonton Sports Talk. We want to thank the gentleman we had here as a practicum student from Nate for the last about 4 months, Brendan Eric.
Yeah.
We said farewell to him today. Did a great job on his practicum. And I think he's got a ton of potential as a broadcaster. And I think he will get the opportunity somewhere. Maybe here someday. Who knows?
Who knows?
Was there not once a practicum student that got hired? Has that ever happened?
Maybe at the old place.
EST?
Maybe at the old place.
Do you know, Zach, if that ever happened here at EST?
No clue.
No clue. Okay. I don't
might have
have
been
a clue
a
either.
year ago on this day, I think.
Is this actually your anniversary?
I got a Facebook memory thing. I didn't actually go about checking, but it'd be around this same exact time, either today or tomorrow.
Oh, so you got hired. He hired you right at the end of your practicum.
Yeah.
He made you wait.
Technically, I didn't start my first
why,
year,
why,
right?
why pay him before you have to, I guess?
Well, yeah, he ain't no dumb.
Yeah, Dustin wasn't hiring him halfway through. I get him free for another 2 months. Oh, that's good.
Wait, you guys are getting paid?
We are, yes. We're not.
Oh.
Yeah, I did a practicum a long time ago. Yeah, Jay didn't, but he was on probation twice as long as everybody else. Well, you got off a little early.
I did.
Dustin took you off a little bit early
Thank
that one
God.
day. Yeah.
We have an early limerick in from Dudley. For the fourth time, they're back on the scene. Oilers and Kings, same old routine. It's playoff deja vu, but with Edmonton's crew, they'll skate past LA sharp and mean.
Well, I thought they were going to say Edmonton in 2. That would have been quite the thing. I have a limerick here from VR Montenegro.
Wow, okay.
Well, people are firing in the limericks today. Here's VR's. Why does the NHL make us wait an extra day to anticipate? From word of the mouth, the boys stayed down south. When Tommy is around, guard your plate. Now that's good. The VR is coming in hot today.
Well, then
That's
we
really
might as
good.
well just roll on with another one here that has to do with
You
Tommy.
already have that many. Mm-hmm. I have a couple other ones too. I'll save the other 2.
Tom Gazzola with mischief and glee ate all of the poutine, bold as can be. He said with a grin, just fries, not a sin. While Dustin cried, that half was for me.
That's really good. Who's that from?
Dudley.
That is good work,
2
Dudley.
bangers in a row.
I really appreciate how our audience is embracing the limerick, and also the overall quality of the limerick continues to improve, which is really, really cool. That makes me very, very happy. Some might say it makes me fired up. For Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years, the authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street.
Did you see what Jen said in the nasty chat? She said, my 10-year-old daughter sings the click, click song, LOL. You know you're doing something right when...
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
I mean,
I'm just amazed it's a thing. Not in a bad way. I'm pleasantly surprised and amazed it's
here's
a thing.
the thing that Jen would know, because there's some commercials on the TV that kids stop everything they're doing and they just...
Right.
They can't turn away. Like TELUS. TELUS is very good at nabbing my children's
Cute
attention.
animals.
Yeah, but
Can't
the
go wrong.
music, everything's got to work.
We should just have a different live animal on our desk.
I can supply many
every day.
Yes.
Cute though.
Yeah, Cooper the Corgi would sit there.
He'd be awesome.
He'd be great.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind maybe some sort of a reptile to match my reflexes, because we have found for me rebounding in 21, like, they say someone has cat-like reflexes. I think I have reptilian reflexes. They read the reptile. I think when I grab a rebound, I sort of am iguana-like in the way I snatch it and the way I stand after.
I mean, are iguanas fast?
Well,
they get their tongue go. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I rebound. I have reptilian.
You rebound like the tongue of a reptile.
I have reptilian reflexes. I sort of, just how I move. It's very reptilian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the first thing I said.
Maybe I'm
about
one
you.
of the aliens from V.
Could be
a little bit of a mix.
Yeah. On his way out, Brendan was like, "Did you ever tell Reid about our reptilian thoughts about him rebounding?" I mean, everybody sees it clearly.
Yeah. Maybe there's. What do you call an expert? I think. Okay, here's something you can check. I think an expert in reptiles is called a herpetologist. And if you went up to somebody and said, "Hey, my friend is a herpetologist," you might think they study what?
A herpetologist.
A herpetologist is an expert in
Herpetology
reptiles.
is a scientific study of reptiles and amphibians.
You know how I know that?
Why? How? Because you're half.
Speaking of meandering a little bit,
you're half reptile.
I know. Well, one, two. It's a card in the board game Ark Nova. You can hire a herpetologist. Ark Nova is a game where you build a zoo and put animals in your zoo.
I could see how people would confuse it with some sort of other studies.
Well, if you told somebody I'm a herpetologist, they'd be like, "Wow, you
lizards and snakes don't come to mind." Well, some snakes.
Well, yes. All right, 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Jay's, let's face it, guys, Jay does all the work, really. I'm just the hair and teeth of the show, as they like to say.
Reptiles don't have hair, though. Do they?
Well, I don't know, actually. Somebody call a herpetologist.
Maybe there's some.
There's got to be a herpetologist at the U of A somebody can get us in touch with.
Summer, Koob, put that on the summer list.
I would love that if we, I guess we'd have to say email because it'd be easy to impersonate somebody in the Nasty Chat on YouTube. Let's through connections, through word of the mouth, get a herpetologist to email reid@edmontonsportstalk.com. But I'll check the email address, or if they have, because if you were a herpetologist at a university, at the U of A or wherever, like you'd have that in your signature.
Yes.
So can somebody connect us? Gets a herpetologist to email me by 5:30 today.
We have questions about Reid.
We have questions.
And we need to send them pictures of you rebounding.
What are their reflexes like? How hairy are they?
How similar is Reid to anything you've studied?
Right. So we did predictions before the NHL season started, and Jay and I both correctly predicted 10 of the 16 playoff teams. So we did okay. I had Boston making it. They did not.
As did I.
I had the Rangers and Islanders making it. They did not.
As did I.
But we had the same 8 teams in the Eastern Conference.
No, I had the Red Wings. You had Tampa Bay. That's where we also differed.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So we did not share the same record.
So did you only get 4 right in the East?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 4.
Okay, I got
4
5.
out of 8.
Yeah. I didn't have Ottawa. I didn't have Montreal. And I didn't have Washington. Then in the East, or in the West, I had Dallas, Winnipeg, Colorado, Utah, and Nashville. So I did have 5 Central Division teams. But I had Utah and Nashville getting in. Instead, it was St. Louis and Minnesota. In the Pacific, I had Vegas, Edmonton, and Vancouver. Instead, it was LA. So there's my 5 in the West.
We were identical there, except I had Utah.
No, I had Utah.
Oh, okay, then we are identical.
Okay. So you had 9 out of 16. I had 10 out of 16. So we did okay.
Yeah, except I had the Oilers going 56, 18, and 8.
You were very bullish on their prospects.
Well, I think the closest was Rob in LA, because I tracked the listeners that sent in their guesses. He was 48, 26, and 8. But somebody beat him.
I was 48, 28, and 6. I was off by 1 point.
1 point.
I had 102 points. So I had 48, 28, and 6. They went 48, 29, and 5. So I did pretty good there. And a lot of my little thoughts about how they were going to do in sections of the season was pretty good as well. So playoff stuff, barely above 50-50. My Oilers record, pretty good. My Stanley Cup prediction will be incorrect, and we've known that for most of the season. My Stanley Cup prediction was Nashville over Florida, which totally frees me up from having to pick those teams. Do you want to remind people what yours of, or wait?
That's fine, yeah.
You know, wait for yours?
Yeah, we can wait.
I think that's a good call.
I had most surprising player, breakout, or maybe not breakout, but just actually I had was Jacob Markstrom in New Jersey.
Really? I don't remember doing that.
I kind of did it on my own.
Okay.
It wasn't part of the homework. I just added it. You know me.
I do. You're always looking to go one notch above. KD in the Nasty Chat says the Oilers were just sandbagging the last 4 weeks. They're going to come out flying to start the playoffs. At least we hope. Tales from the Shop says, I like how Reid air drums with one arm. True fan. Well, how else would you possibly air drum? The Def Leppard.
To Def Leppard.
You have to do it with one arm.
Do you think everybody knows that Def Leppard's drummer has one arm?
Well, they do now.
They do now.
I don't think everybody in the world knows that. I don't think that would be common knowledge.
You don't think?
No.
Koob, you wouldn't have known that.
I had zero clue.
Started working here.
I had zero clue.
What did you know about Def Leppard before you met me? Nothing.
Well, yeah, essentially.
Right.
You knew
nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
Well, I knew Pour Some Sugar on Me, Hysteria. I knew that was the name of their most famous album.
Because you're kind of a music guy.
Yeah, I mean, I listened to the album before. I enjoyed it. It's, when it wouldn't be my favorite band. I respect them. I like their music.
Fair enough.
But I didn't know that their drummer had one arm.
Yeah, I think that would be surprising to a lot of people under a certain age.
Well, I bet you there's a lot of Metallica fans that think that Robert Trujillo is their bass player.
But their original bass player was killed in a bus crash, was he not?
Yeah, this is their third bass player.
Did it happen in Europe?
Yeah.
Cliff Burton in 1986.
Right. Yeah.
On the Master Puppets.
But also the Def Leppard drummer lost his arm between Pyromania and Hysteria. It's not like they started a band with a one-arm drummer either. So, I mean, there's some nuance to it as well. But
what a skill to be able to continue on doing. Drumming is hard enough with two hands.
It is a great story.
It is.
Do we want to get right?
Okay, so there's our quick recap of our predictions from before the season. So we did okay. We did okay. I guess I was a little better because I had 10-9 with the playoff picks, and my Oilers prediction was a lot closer. But whatever.
Big Uke did predict that Skinner would get 3 shutouts, but he also sent in his pick was 53, 22, and 7. So he's a little high, just like me.
High. He predicted Skinner would get 3 shutouts this season?
He did.
Okay.
Sent me the screenshot. He said 3 players get 40 goals. He said Bouchard scores 25.
That did not happen. My prediction of a defenseman in the league having 100 points did not happen.
Nurse bounce back finished. He did predict Nurse bounces back.
Yeah, that's fair.
He did, but he says finishes plus 15.
Oh, I didn't
Nurse was plus 11.
Okay, well, that's not bad.
Not bad.
So we had some pretty good predictions. We're gonna dive into. We're gonna do Eastern Conference, Western Conference. We'll take an extended look at the Oilers Kings series. Jamie Thomas from the Ground Control podcast out of Winnipeg is going to join us. All coming up on a great Thursday afternoon edition of the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne.
It's the final day of the NHL regular season. There's 7 games on tap with the Flames and Kings facing off. The Red Wings and Maple Leafs going at it. The Lightning hitting the road in New York to take on the Rangers, while Ottawa plays host to Carolina. And from Winnipeg, the Jets have extended Neal Pionk to a 6-year, $42 million extension worth an average salary of $7 million. Pionk has 10 goals and 39 points through 69 games this season, and the Jets Blues round one, goes on Saturday. Finishing the season with 63 points in 70 games, San Jose's Macklin Celebrini has committed to playing for Canada at the upcoming World Championships starting in May. And WHL playoff action has just one game dotting the schedule. The Raiders are on the brink of elimination, being down 3-0 to Gavin McKenna and his Tigers entering Game 4. Baseball sees 10 games on tap, 1 game live with the Phillies holding the Giants 5-3 in the 6th inning. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years. Their West End showroom is open 7 days a week. You can shop online at ParamountFlooring.ca. The Reid Wilkins Show returns after a brief intermission. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit GalloLLP.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Do you have pets? Horses? Chickens? Did the place you used to get your feed recently close down? Have no fear. Clover Bar Feeds is here. Whether it's dogs, cats, horses, or chickens, Clover Bar Feeds has you covered. Offering a large variety of food and feed, you can trust the experts at Clover Bar Feeds. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. This means you can expect nothing less than top-notch service and selection. Come visit them at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or visit them online at cloverbarfeeds.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know. People, there are regular season games still tonight, which will have no bearing on playoff seeding. We will do a Play More Tables game of the night a little bit later on. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. So we are asking for your prediction for the Oilers series. Who beats who in the Stanley Cup final, and maybe an amusing or something that'll make us giggle item to your predictions as well. That could be whatever you like, whatever you think is kind of silly. We always appreciate those as well. So basically, it's an entire afternoon of the afternoon debate for Edmonton Garrison Curling Club. Early bird golf memberships are now on sale at the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club, with discounts for seniors and first responders, plus special rates for Sturgeon County residents. Enjoy GPS carts and awesome driving range deals. Inside, kick back and enjoy a pint and or a pound of wings in their full bar and restaurant. For more info, visit egmgolf.com. They are great partners of EST. Matt has fixed my email.
Oh, that's
I wasn't getting my work email on my phone, and I couldn't get it to work. Matthew Wannock took my phone for about 40 seconds and fixed it. He's a very handy,
he's a tech-savvy young man.
So afternoon debate for Edmonton Garrison Curling Club. Basically, we're going to be debating the first round series, having a chat about them, making some predictions, having fun, looking at the storylines, looking at what would be compelling, or maybe in some series, not so compelling. I got to admit, there's one series I may just give my prediction and move on.
I wonder which one it is.
Well, no, I'll find something to say about it. So let's start in the Eastern Conference, shall we?
We shall.
And let's start with the only series which guarantees us a Canadian team in the second round.
Okay.
And that is the series between the Ottawa Senators and the Toronto Maple Leafs. So Ottawa back in the playoffs. Toronto, they've been a perennial playoff team. A lot of disappointment for them.
What's it, 2017 since Ottawa's been in the Stanley Cup
I believe
playoffs?
it was 2017, right? Because wasn't that the year they lost to the Penguins in Game 7 overtime?
Yeah, it's been 8 years. So that means there's a lot of Senators players who have not yet played in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, Koob brought that up earlier, right? When we were shooting the breeze in the bullpen. Anybody they've drafted in the last 8 years, obviously, but I guess Stützle, one of the big guys that would lead the way with no playoff experience.
Well, yeah, we were trying to. I wanted to confirm just so I wasn't misreading or misremembering. But yeah, I have Brady Tkachuk listed as an X factor in this series. However, because he can do things, he can take over a game physically. He can beat you offensively as well. Is he built for the playoffs? You think, but nobody knows. So that's the uncertainty that I have there. Toronto has 6 20-goal scorers. Marner reached 100 points. You got Nylander, Matthews, Tavares, Nias, and Bobby McMahon all scored 20 goals. If they can continue that, they, in my opinion, should win this. Now, I know the season series would suggest otherwise.
Ottawa 3-0 Ottawa.
Ottawa took that.
Yep. I don't put too much stock in the season series, at least in this case. And I was reading some stuff about this series, and a lot of stats and the advanced stats are actually quite even, or some even that would suggest an advantage to Ottawa. But I think on the ice that Toronto just has a better team. I think they have better high-end skill, led by Marner and Matthews. I think that even though, you mentioned they have Tkachuk, for example, on Ottawa, and I'm not suggesting Ottawa is a soft team. I think Toronto can play a heavier game. I think Brad Treliving as GM has addressed that. And I think part of the way also to address that was hiring a coach like Craig Berube, who has been a successful coach in the National Hockey League, has taken a team already to a Stanley Cup championship. Now, I do think it's going to be spirited, and I do think Ottawa is going to put up a heck of a fight, and I think they're going to make it incredibly nerve-wracking for Leafs fans, incredibly fun for their fans, and incredibly entertaining for the rest of the country if you don't care who wins or you're cheering against the Leafs. I think they're going to push the Leafs really, really hard, but I do think Toronto gets it done in 7 games.
Okay, I'm not too far off of you, but I've given the benefit of the doubt here to the goaltending. Anthony Stolarz has been playing very well of recent. He's won his last 8 starts. Past 4 have been shutouts. So he is entering the playoffs on a very much so a high. I think Toronto, I think it's going to be a physical series.
He doesn't have 4 consecutive shutouts. What does he have?
I think 4 of his last 8 have been shutouts.
Oh, 4 of his last 8 wins. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
I got Toronto winning this in 6.
Okay.
So you're in 7. I'm in 6.
It's gonna be. I think this will be fun. I think this one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just my hopes, but hey, I'm allowed to have hopes and dreams. Everybody. I think this one will live up to the billing. Like Battle of Ontario, I think it will be a battle. I think it will be tense. I think the Leafs win. I think this is going to be an important series for the Leafs too, that they survive it. All right. Battle of Florida. We need more alliteration. Like the conflagration of Florida. I don't know, it doesn't start with an F, but
Battle of the Gulf of America.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. The Panthers are the Panthers. I know they didn't finish off the season they were up and down near the end of the year. Look, they added Seth Jones. They added Brad Marchand. They've already got Tkachuk, Bennett, Ekblad. Plenty of nastiness on that roster. This is going to be a tough one. It was hard for me to pick who. I'm giving the edge to Florida because they've been there. They've done it as of recent. I mean, Tampa Bay has 2, and they made some great pickups at the trade deadline as well. But you got Bobrovsky and Vasilevsky. I mean, this is going to be an intense series. But I'm going to give the edge to Florida. They're going to take it in 7.
Yeah, I think this will be a fun series to watch as well. You know what, Jay? I'm going to take Tampa Bay, even though I agree with you on pretty much everything you said about the Panthers. And the Panthers were my preseason Eastern Conference pick. But because my Western Conference pick got blown out early, I'm going to go a different way. I just think everything you said about Florida, Tampa Bay can do that just as well, or perhaps better. I agree. You know, it's interesting they went out and got Seth Jones and certainly Marchand, but Tampa Bay has a lot of players who can counteract what those guys do or do it the same way. I mean, we saw that with Hagel and Point on the Four Nations team. I mean, they're not just soft skill. They can play heavy and play tough too. Obviously, goaltending, I think, could go either way, but it's not as if, I mean, it's fairly easy to imagine Vasilevsky outplaying Bobrovsky.
I think you have to give the edge to Vasilevsky.
I think he's the more consistent goalie, quite frankly. I mean, obviously Hedman. So I don't, and coaching, 2 great coaches, but you know, to have been there before. But Cooper's proven himself behind the bench. I mean, really, it's a pick 'em.
It is,
but I think Tampa Bay was stronger down the stretch. And I'm going to go with Tampa Bay to knock off the defending chance. So I'm going to go with the Lightning in 6.
4-2. I was talking to Dusty earlier about this because Tampa Bay is his team to win it all. And he made a good point, to which I'll make this counterpoint. Florida needs to steal one of those first 2 games. If they come back home down 2-0, I don't know if they can get off the mat. So if they can split the first 2 games in Tampa, I think that this series will go to the distance, and I think they can do it.
And this series does not start until Tuesday. So a couple series will have already played 2 games?
Well, yes. You're going to have
Winnipeg, St. Louis plays Saturday, Monday.
And Colorado, Dallas, Saturday, Monday.
Right. So the Oilers starting on Monday are not the last series to start.
Which is
crazy. We should note we're still going to do Montreal, Washington. They don't start till Monday either.
I just want to make a quick point, and we'll get back to our predictions here. But Katie makes an excellent point. Excellent. People shouldn't be complaining about the first game being Monday. This team needs all the rest they can get. That is so true. Every day helps and matters if you have a nick or if you have a nagging injury. Every day of rest means so much. So for Oilers fans, they should be ecstatic that this does not start Sunday. That makes a huge difference.
Well, I think people are complaining just because they're eager for it to start.
Yeah, and Bronco Nick,
great point about Ekblad too.
Ekblad's
I think
first.
that's going to help Tampa Bay. That's still the PED suspension or whatever it was.
They call him PEDs.
Call him PEDs in the business.
PEDs, bro.
Yeah. My performing enhancing drug? Beer. All right. So we're both taking Toronto. Me in 7, Jay in 6. I'm going Tampa Bay in 6. Jay's going Florida in 7. Carolina, New Jersey. Carolina is usually in the playoffs. They usually do okay, but they ultimately don't make it. New Jersey's back in. I mean, we've seen them. They're kind of an exciting team that can push the pace. Both teams sort of mediocre since the Four Nations face-off. Carolina 14-10-1. New Jersey actually below 500 at 11-13-1. It'll probably be a close, entertaining series, but probably one of the ones I'll watch the least of just because of the teams involved. I think just New Jersey missing a big name player is going to hurt them. I'll take Carolina in 7. I really don't have a lot to say about this series, everybody, though. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to any Devils or Hurricanes fans listening in from the Eastern Seaboard.
Yeah, nobody cares about this series, really.
It's just like...
Well, prove me wrong. I mean, really, Carolina, New Jersey, those teams couldn't be further from relevant here. Now, maybe there's listeners from... I get it, okay? Now, here's a conundrum I'm in. Carolina's probably going to win this series, okay? I have to pick New Jersey. I have to.
You're doing the Wilkie.
Because they're one of the teams that one of the 2 teams that I projected to be in the Stanley Cup final.
Right.
So I'm going with New Jersey with a win. I'm not saying what games, okay, Reid? But if you had to, I'd say, screw it. Let's go 4-2 New Jersey.
Okay.
And you said what?
I said Carolina in 7. Don't feel bad about sticking with the team you picked before the season.
Well, what is it? It's a dance with the date that brought you?
Dance with the devils that you brung you. You're dancing with the devils.
There you go. I am dancing with
not?
the devils. There you go.
Okay, Montreal, Washington. The Canadiens got in. They are a feel-good story. Remember when we talked when the Oilers played the Canadiens during the regular season, and I said it's different with Montreal. To me, the mystique is different. And it used to be when I was a lad, or even when I was Koob's age. How old are you, Koob? Like 21?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, one of the best lines Rick Riley in Sports Illustrated ever had. I'm not saying Michael Jordan has a gambling problem, but he yells blackjack every time he scores his 21st point of the game. Anyway. But like for most of my life, until the Canadiens finally missed the playoffs, I think in 95, like they not only were a lock to be in, they were usually a cup contender, or at least had enough players you thought they might pull something off, or a goalie who could do what Watt did a couple of times. It was interesting last night watching the glee and the celebration at the Bell Center for them just to make the playoffs. Like that used to be assumed in Montreal. Like it'd be like, oh, we made the playoffs? Yeah. Oh, okay. How deep are we going? You know?
Yeah.
So, but it is cool they're back in. There'll be a lot of good energy there. The Capitals are very, very good. Since, I did the standings. I looked at all the records since the Four Nations face-off, okay? Montreal went 15-5-6. Washington went 15-10-1. So still pretty good, but Montreal did really well. Who was it? Who did we have? Oh, it was Sam the other day. Sam Cosentino said that Montreal's stretch drive has been all about making the playoffs. Washington's stretch drive has been all about Ovechkin. And they've had some stinkers along the way. They even lost the game he broke the record in. Washington's good. I know there are some advanced stats that suggest Montreal won't be able to defend very well off the rush or slot chances. But I just think the Canadiens right now have that je ne sais quoi. And I'm taking the Canadiens in 7.
Wow. Okay. Feel good story. I get that. Yay, Bell Center is going to be explosive and loud. Okay, cool. I just feel like Washington's going to overpower Montreal. 7 players on that team have scored 20 goals, yet their biggest point getter is Dylan Strome with 81 points. They score from everywhere. They've got depth scoring.
Your guy for Canada.
That's the guy. He should have been there. The only question I would have with Washington is their goaltending with Charlie Lindgren. But I still think they're going to overpower them. I just don't see them winning this. I know it's sexy to say or to think, and it would be a feel good for Canada if the Canadiens made it in, but I have Washington winning in 6.
I mean, I can't argue with your logic because obviously, maybe this is this crazy thing about Purdue. Oh, I'm picking a team in 7, so I know they're going to split exactly the first 6 games. Like, I mean, we know most series are going to be close, but you do make a good point. The Capitals may just be able to overpower the Canadiens, though. I mean, the Canadiens got some talent.
Oh, they do.
Suzuki,
they do. Yep.
You know, Slavkovsky's turning into a good player.
Demidov.
And, Josh Anderson is still there. And I mean, Hudson on the back end, if he doesn't win the Norris or the Calder, he'll probably finish second. Could win the Norris someday. And is Montembeault going to have a stick it to Jay Milne series?
He very well could. In fact, that might be on his whiteboard. He's going
to write that inside his glove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just looks down at the face-off when the face-off about to happen.
Whose face do you have in the wrist painted on your wrist there? Oh, this guy in Edmonton. He say I no good for Canada. That was a terrible accent. I'm sorry, everybody.
Wow.
Okay, so we agree on Toronto. We do not agree on the other 3 series in the East. I'm taking Tampa Bay. Jay's going Florida. I'm taking Carolina. Jay's going New Jersey. Reluctantly, I think. I'm going Montreal. He is going Washington.
You had Montreal in 7?
I have Montreal in 7.
Okay.
Keep texting your predictions, 780-218-9999. We're going to compile those. So we want your Oilers prediction. We want who beats who in the Stanley Cup final. And we want an amusing prediction or something goofy, like something kind of satirical or...
I've been compiling.
Okay, we'll catch up on those. We'll do our Western Conference picks when we get back. Jamie Thomas from Winnipeg at 420, and then our Oilers and Cup picks between 440 and 5. I hope you're having as much fun as we are. Here's the 4 o'clock break.
The Lock Shop.
You guys are putting up a President's Cup banner.
Oh, I would imagine at the start of next season, for sure. Hopefully there'll be 3 to go up. Central Division, President's Trophy.
You know, your Kansas City Chiefs is coming out pretty strong right now, hey, Huss?
They've already won the Central Division and the President's Trophy. We can.
You just need to dial back the 3 banner talk right now with the Jets.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
The River Cree Resort and Casino presents Bump and Grind Rewind, May 16th, featuring Drew Hill. With Cisco and Genuine, plus DJ Hartman V. Bump and Grind Rewind. Friday, May 16th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games. Make the most of your fan game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you gotta do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your fan game. Play more tables and games.
PlayMoreGames.ca.
The NHL regular season wraps up with 7 games. The Caps and Pens face off. LA hosts Calgary. The Blue Jackets meet the Islanders, while the Maple Leafs battle the Red Wings. And finishing the season with 63 points in 70 games, San Jose's Macklin Celebrini has committed to playing for Canada at the upcoming World Championships starting in May. And with 22 points in just 8 playoff games this season, Gavin McKenna and his Tigers have the Raiders on the brink of elimination, leading 3-1 in the series entering Game 4. Meanwhile, Neal Pionk has agreed to a $42 million 6-year extension with the Jets, recording 39 points and 10 goals through 69 games this season. Jets and Blues Game 1 goes down Saturday. 10 games around baseball. There's 4 games wrapped up with 1 game live. Philly holding San Francisco 5-3 in the top of the 8th. Earlier, we saw Toronto's next opponent in the Mariners beat the Reds 11-7 in extra innings. I'm Zachary Kubusch. That was your sports update. The second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
So this is the opposite of music to get you pumped up for the playoffs. Last break we came back with was that Blitzkrieg Bop? We came up. Now this is like the losing team. This is what they play in their dressing room after the game, I guess. All right. By the way, if you are on YouTube, thanks for taking us in there. Hopefully you're already subscribed to Edmonton Sports Talk. Turn on the autoplay function, by the way, so when one show ends, we go straight into our next great program. And take a look at that little thumbs up button on YouTube.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb.
Everybody get in there and click right away. Don't wait. If everybody clicked right now, we would have a double word of the day number, and we would have that put to bed. So don't wait. I know you're going into a long weekend. Maybe your routine is a little bit off, or you're trying to leave work a little early, or whatever. You're just get in there and click. We want it. We want it as quickly as possible. We really appreciate that. Also want to thank our great partners at Marmot Basin. You can ski for half price every day with the Marmot Escape Card, only $99 at skimarmot.com, or get 4 lift tickets for the family for only $329 at skimarmot.com. A great deal for families and only available online. I know in Edmonton, an area here, it's warmed up, but it's still great skiing out there, right? And Brian Rhodes going to jump on with us next week for the update.
Well, they're supposed to get snow Friday, Saturday, and Sunday still. So, I mean, they're going to go right to the end of the season. I believe they're closing up shop around the end of the month. But yeah, if you still want to get your ski fix in,
you can still go skiing. And again, Brian's going to hop on with us next week and dive into all that kind of stuff. All right. Thanks, Koob. Apparently that audio was a little loud for everybody. I apologize. Riding the Pine in the Nasty Chat says Oilers in 6, and then the Oilers beat Florida in the final, and Draisaitl is scared of mustard. Is that riffing on does it make David that doesn't like ketchup? Or doesn't even like having ketchup around?
Yeah, he's scared. Definitely afraid of ketchup.
I don't know if is he actually not actually afraid of ketchup, is he?
I think he just hates it.
I think he just hates it. He just doesn't like the sight of it. All right, 780-218-9999 to get us your predictions. That's how you can text them, by the way. The afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant. All-you-can-eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday from 4 to 10 p.m. You can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, Jay at EdmontonSportsTalk.com as well. Have a limerick here from RC in Ladner. A coveted trophy the champs will hoist. If by chance it's the Oilers, you can bet I'll be happy. It takes 16 to win. Let the chaos begin. Time for Reid and Jay to have their predictions voiced. He's just being outright cheeky.
That would get you timed out in the morning show.
That's all right.
I am compiling everybody's predictions they're sending in. I think we're going to get to them.
Did Nick send you like the entire playoffs? Bronco Nick did the entire playoffs.
No. He emailed it
yes,
to you?
He
I don't have my email open right now.
He did the entire playoffs. Okay, I'll just focus. He has Edmonton in 6, Edmonton over Tampa Bay in the Cup final, and Draisaitl getting the Conn Smythe. And he says when the Oilers beat Colorado in 6 in the West final, they will touch Clarence Campbell.
Oh.
Sorry, they'll touch the Clarence Campbell trophy. Don't put your hands on the trophy, Jablonski. It's bad luck. Somebody needs to carry it off the ice. Shut up, Jablonski. Don't touch it. Let Beckman put it in the car.
Some poor sap named Clarence Campbell in Colorado is like, why are they after me? We'll get to predictions at 5 o'clock. Listener predictions, okay?
I wasn't supposed to read those there?
No.
Oh.
Hey, it's your show. I'm just saying I'm compiling them. So if you haven't heard yours yet, don't worry. We'll get to them. We just got to get to the Western Conference now, right?
Yeah, we are getting them. Well, I don't mind spicing in a couple along the way.
Well, let's spice in a couple.
Let's do a little bit of spice.
Dan says Oilers
it's like we're on Dune all of a sudden. Bring us the spice.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
We're riding the sandworm, baby.
Dan says Oilers in 6. Deneau has a pouting fit and tries to take his puck and go home. Oilers beat Caps in 6 Cup final. That's from Dan. Plumber Topher. Oilers in 6. Fogle gets injured by Perry. Serves him right for saying he hates Edmonton. I'll go complete homer for the finals. Edmonton over Ottawa. Edmonton in 7.
Oh, wow. That'd be fun, eh?
Andrew the accountant. I'm going Oilers in 7. Jeff Skinner scores 3 goals, all in the second period. Not a single game has over 7 goals combined. Oilers versus Canes in the final, and Oilers in 7 for redemption.
That's pretty good. These are good.
These are good.
These are pretty good. Mex Bezozu, Oilers in 6. Oilers beat the Lightning. Stauffer shirtless at the parade. Well, I won't be attending the parade then.
On rollerblades. He'll be rollerblading behind the bus.
Guitar and playing the guitar like the busking. Guy. Is that guy still around? The shirtless rollerblading guy? I think he is.
Like in Edmonton?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
No, I don't.
Yeah, there's a guy who goes around on rollerblades playing the guitar, and I think he's usually shirtless.
Huh.
Dog 2233 says if Janmark doesn't play, Oilers in 5. See, I've probably irritated some people by saying that I like Janmark, how he plays.
You just like the picture. I mean, that was.
I like how he plays.
Yeah,
I think there's I think there's value to how he plays, quite frankly. Okay, so let's move along. Quickly recapping the East picks. Guitar guy, that's what he's called. Thank you, KD.
How unique.
Yeah, see, you don't get that in our Drawson, Jay. You gotta come to the city for that.
Yeah, I'm happy about that.
So we both took Toronto.
In our Drawson, we have drunk guy.
Is it you?
Depends on the night, bro.
We both took Toronto. I took Tampa. Jay takes Florida. I take Carolina. Jay takes the Devils. I take the Habs in 7. And Jay takes Washington in 6. Let's go to the Western Conference. Let's start with the miserable bastards, the Vegas Golden Knights, up against the Minnesota Wild.
Look, as good as Winnipeg has been, Vegas has been nearly as good. Eichel surpassed 90 points. I mean, they've got a tough, stingy defense. Theodore Hannafin, Pietrangelo, is he expected to play?
He's going to play.
Right?
Yep.
Aiden Hill has put together a very nice, consistent, quiet year. I just don't see Minnesota overcoming this. I have Vegas winning in 5.
Vegas had a goal differential of plus 56. Minnesota's in the playoffs with a minus 11. I know they got crushed a few times, including by the Oilers when they had a lot of injuries. I just think Vegas is better. I'm actually, you know what? I'm just going to go out on a limb.
You're bringing out the broom.
Vegas in 4.
There you go.
I'm taking the Golden Knights to sweep the Wild. Why not? And you're taking Vegas in 5.
Yeah.
All right. Minnesota in 6, everybody. Write that down for yourselves at home. I just think Minnesota's good. And I know they got healthier. Maybe I'm underestimating them. I just think Vegas knows what to do at this time of year.
I don't think you are.
Dallas, Colorado. A lot of people looking forward to this series. Dallas didn't finish the season that well. Colorado slightly better over the last 10 games or so. Clearly a big deal for them getting Landeskog back. Makar is one of the best hockey players in the world. The Lumberyard has been a great goaltending story. Yada, yada, yada.
Great story.
I just think Dallas is better. They're more battle-tested. They have a great goaltender themselves. They have a really good coach in DeBoer. I actually think Dallas is going to handle this series relatively quickly. I'm going with Dallas in 5.
Wow. To win the Stanley Cup, Reid, you got to beat the best. And I think this is 2 of the top teams in the league. Certainly some cup favorites here. This obviously trade deadline was a huge day for both these teams, actually the entire Central. But it comes down to, I think it just comes down to the difference in goaltending, and I think Jake Ottinger is a better goaltender, so I'm going to take Dallas, but in 7.
Okay. Winnipeg and St. Louis. Special hello to all the Winnipeg Sports Talk listeners, and we will have Jamie Thomas coming up in about 5 minutes from the Ground Control Podcast, the official podcast of the Winnipeg Jets.
That is true, though, because was it last night Jason Robertson left the game?
Yeah, that's important.
It's a big loss for them.
I still think Dallas is going to win. I still think Dallas is going to win. Winnipeg, St. Louis. We know the Winnipeg won the President's Trophy. We know they have a goaltender who is a cinch to win the Vezina. He might even win the Hart. Who knows? We know they have incredibly talented players like Connor, like Scheifele. On and on we go. Morrissey, etc. We know that they can play a skilled game. We know that they can play a heavy game. I'm going to tell you this, though. They're victims of bad luck, and that is that they play the St. Louis Blues in the first round. This is a Western Conference final caliber series in the first round. And I'm stealing a little bit from Elliot Friedman on that one, because Friedman on Stoff's show when I was working at Ched said when Edmonton and Vegas were playing in the second round, Friedman said this is a Stanley Cup final caliber matchup, and they just happen to be in the same division. Winnipeg St. Louis is a Western Conference final caliber matchup, and they have to play each other in the first round. Winnipeg, after the Four Nations face-off, went 17-8-1. St. Louis went 19-4-3. Montgomery taking over as coach has totally turned that team around. I don't think they're more talented than Winnipeg. I think they'll play a better team game, and I'm taking St. Louis in 6. Is there like a hushed silence everywhere or just in the studio?
Just in the studio.
Okay.
Probably.
Like, is the whole world, the whole city gone silent?
Listen, the Blues are hot. Okay. They're 16-4-2 since March 1st. You alluded to that. They're second only to, since that time, since March 1st, to the LA Kings.
Well, I did since Four Nations.
Jordan Binnington is a gamer goalie. Proved that in the final of the Four Nations face-off. But I don't believe in luck. So I don't think Winnipeg can be a victim of bad luck. I think this is the year they break through, and I honestly, Reid, I think Connor Hellebuyck, he's having a career year. Career year in save percentage, goals against average. I have Winnipeg taking this series in 5. And little fun fact. One of the reasons I didn't want to tell my Stanley Cup finals pick was because I have Winnipeg from the start of the year.
Yes.
Going to the Stanley Cup final and winning.
So you got to ride them.
I got to ride them.
You got to ride them. Okay. So in the wet, now we're going to do the Oilers prediction at 4:40 because we're going to talk about the series a little bit more. So in the West, we agree on 2 of the 3 that we've done so far. We both have Vegas in a relatively short series. We both have Dallas. I'm going with St. Louis to keep rolling against the Jets, and Jay has the Jets getting over their first-round ghosts, specters, whatever it is, and moving on.
So we're quite opposite with the Jets in St. Louis series.
Yes,
it would be so nice to have somebody on that could talk about that series in depth.
I'll find somebody
in the break.
I know a guy. I'll get him. I'll get him during the break.
Okay,
yeah.
Do it.
All right. Here's the Koob first.
One last go in the NHL regular season. The Flames challenge the Kings. Washington hits the ice in Pittsburgh. The Rangers take on the Lightning while the Senators meet the Hurricanes, having Canes prospect Alexander Nikishin being cleared for travel to the States. And from San Jose Sharks, first overall pick Macklin Celebrini, who was second in NHL rookie scoring this season, has committed to joining Team Canada for next month's World Championship. And in WHL playoff action, there's just one game that dots the slate today. The Raiders are on the brink of elimination, being down 3-0 to the Tigers entering Game 4. Out east, Winnipeg's Neal Pionk has signed a 6-year, $42 million extension with the Jets after potting 10 goals and 39 points in 69 games this season. Winnipeg battles St. Louis in Game 1 of Round 1 Saturday. 4 games are wrapped up with 1 game live in baseball. It's the Phillies up 6-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Earlier, the Mariners, Toronto's next opponent, beat the Reds 11-7 in extra innings. After the break, Jamie Thomas from the Ground Control podcast joins us to preview the Jets Blues series. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and that was your sports update.
Some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
Craving a late night snack? Hit the Banquet for our new late night happy hour. Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. till close. Try favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or our Banquet burger and fries. All at happy hour prices. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
The River Cree Resort and Casino presents Bump and Grind Rewind, May 16th, featuring Drew Hill. With Cisco and Genuine, plus DJ Hartman B. Bump and Grind Rewind. Friday, May 16th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
And there they go to Sentinel Storage. The snowblower and winter gear goes in. They shoot, we store.
Need extra space? Store your winter gear with Sentinel Storage and win extra space at home. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
All right, it's fun making predictions. You can't be wrong ahead of time, right?
the best part about it.
But I've been doing this job long enough. Well, you don't even have to do this job to get people mad. Like, you could go up to your colleague and be like, "Hey, I got Colorado in 6." What? And your buddy's mad at you for the rest of the day. So I've taken the St. Louis Blues to upset the Jets in 6. Corey says that's a bold prediction, Reid. Quaddy says Blues peak too early, which is a perfectly good argument to make. Ryan says, nah, Reid, Winnipeg will be all business. Fair. Darth Skater says, would you concede that the Jets can roll 4 lines more effectively? Okay, Darth Skater. Like,
chill out.
Yes, I know they're good. Okay? Like that, it's fun. It's gut feeling. It's what data am I going to pay more attention to? Okay? Yes, I'll concede the Jets could roll 4. Like, dude, it's fun predictions. No, you know what, Darth Skater? No, I don't concede that at all. I think the Winnipeg Jets are the worst President's Trophy winning team in the history of hockey. There, are you happy now? This guy's laughing as he's waiting to come on camera. From the Ground Control Podcast, it's Jamie Thomas. I can't believe the Jets didn't finish last with that roster, Jamie.
If you told me you were going to pick St. Louis, I wouldn't have come on your show. I was like, why did you start with that? Hey, by the way, Jets have no chance. Well, can you come on my show?
Well, you've done this long enough that it's good to have dialogue. Like, so when someone asked you, we had Kyle Bukauskas on yesterday, who you probably know, great guy,
best hair ever.
Yeah. And, he's kind of national. And we said, how do you handle when people ask you predictions? And he says he just kind of gives them the how the heck do I know thing. We don't have the luxury of doing that in the talk show world. How do you handle, whether it's playoffs or people are like, Jamie, like, how are they going to do on this road trip? Like 2-2, or are they going to go 2-2 or 3-1? Like, and you've been from being on TV, like you're always getting asked too, right?
Yes. So you walk into the office every day and you're like, hey, you excited about the playoffs? I'm like, yes, I'm excited about the playoffs. Because you know what? That's those last 2 games that meant absolutely nothing were so much fun to go to. That game against Edmonton, that was amazing.
Yeah.
It's like where nobody was playing. So I wish we could have 10 of those to deal with and then look forward to the preseason. We're going to talk about the 4th line again. That's how I'm excited about it. So, yeah, to your point about it, it is fun, and it is fun to talk about who's going to win. But if you look at the 8 playoff series that we have in front of us, you can't tell me we all have a grasp on who's going to win. That's just it. Like there's a bunch of throw ups in there. I have no idea what's going to happen in Montreal, Washington. I have no idea with Dallas and Colorado. It's all guessing at this point for some of them. And then Florida, Tampa Bay. If you have an idea, if you sit there and think you can predict exactly what's going to happen in that one, you're crazy. The teams are too close. And that's exactly, like even with Edmonton and LA, I still feel like Edmonton's going to win. But there's like people will say, okay, LA, they got it this time. And I'm like, no, I don't know. Like, I mean, 4th try is the best time to win, I guess. I don't know. Like, it's really hard to say emphatically that you believe a certain team's going to win a series. I would love to see Ottawa beat Toronto. Is it going to happen? Probably not, but there's the possibility of it. But I think what we have here is 8 very good series on the way, although Carolina and New Jersey is not exactly compelling. So
he agrees with us.
So, but you still don't, like, you feel with New Jersey's injuries issues, not having Jack Hughes, that would probably be the selling point on Carolina winning that one. But I would not sit there and say, I'm going to put my house on the line. This is what's going to happen in this series. And that's a good thing. The unpredictability of all this is a good thing.
Okay, the one thing I'll say, whether we're being cheeky with some of our predictions in chat or not, is I don't know if you heard when I was talking before you came on, like Winnipeg St. Louis is a Western Conference final caliber series in the first round. And I do think there's breaks and matchups along the way. Like Vegas had to play Edmonton, or Edmonton had to play Vegas in the second round a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You know, anybody else in the West, maybe Edmonton beats that year. Like what's the vibe there? Or is there a vibe with the fan base where it's like, seriously, we won the President's Trophy and this is who we get in the first round?
I mean, seriously, the only team that you could get that might have been a reward is Calgary. But the way Calgary is playing down the stretch, do you really want to mess with that? That's like, especially with Dustin Wolf's playing that way. So I don't really think that's the whole thing. Like everyone's like, that's another one. You probably hear all the time. Who do you want them to play? Who do you, I'm like, I don't know. Like I just
San Jose.
So it's not, please bring Chicago in one more time. But like, it's not really a reward. Minnesota might have been, because you're not sure what Kirill Kaprizov is at this point. Is he fully at 100%? Is Joel Eriksson Ek at a place? Are they going to get the goaltending required? But it's still dangerous. Calgary, as I just said, if Dustin Wolf playing the way he is, that makes things dangerous. With St. Louis, it's almost the same thing that happened in 2019. It's just they have the same story. They were terrible for the longest time. They fired their coach. Now they're starting to come on like gangbusters. But the one thing that gives me ideas or confidence in Winnipeg is how they played against St. Louis when the Blues were here. And they came in at a 112 straight. The Blues got 15 shots. That was it. And I know it was only a 3-1 game, but there wasn't much there. And I know you hear this out of Toronto every year. Oh, this year, this team's different. I can flat out say emphatically that the Winnipeg Jets are different already than were a year ago because of the way they've parked so many things. They were on, they got that incredible start, but they wouldn't touch on it. They've been saying they've been getting ready for game 83. Well, here's game 83. It's just it's on to the next game, which is the best way to do this. We all know that momentum changes all the time in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And that's where I feel this group is ready to handle that. I know there's question marks about Gabe Vilardi. There's question marks about Nikolai Ehlers. Well, Ehlers is not going to be available for game 1. He hasn't even skated yet, and he's week to week. But Gabe Vilardi's starting to skate. But I still feel confident with the depth that they have right now that they can beat St. Louis. It's not going to be easy. But last year with Colorado, you win your last 2 games. They beat Dallas and Colorado combined 10-0, and you feel very confident about the way things went. But just the way that they gave up their structure in that opening round, that first game that they won, you just kind of had a bad feeling about the way things are. I just don't feel like that's going to happen this year. I don't, because of the focus that they've had and the commitment in the offseason to get a little bit better. And they've certainly done that, as you can see by the standings.
Yeah. Jamie Thomas from the Ground Control Podcast joining us this afternoon on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne. The Jets series will start Saturday. The Oilers Kings, if somehow anybody in Edmonton in oil country has missed that, does not start until Monday. So
save the best for last.
Well, that's Tampa, Florida. They don't start till Tuesday, right?
I thought they were Monday. I apologize.
No, they're Tuesday. Yeah,
the best Canadian series involving a Canadian team for last.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can you give us is there, well, this might be an obvious answer here, but is there an unsung hero or a guy that fans of other teams might not talk about as a headliner for the Jets that now you think like, oh, no, but he's cut out for the playoffs. Now it's going to be his style of game. You know what I mean?
Right. No, that's a fair question. I mean, it's when your kids ask you certain questions, Dad, who's the most underrated player in the Jets? And I usually would have said Vladislav Namestnikov because of the lack of respect the second line has been getting throughout the year, even for myself. But I'll go with Morgan Barron because the Jets have moved him to center ice on the 4th line. And we talk about the team's depth. And you got Adam Lowry, you got Mason Appleton, and you got Brandon Tanev rolling, who they brought in the trade deadline. And, he's played here before and had a big part of their run in 2018. But the 4th line also plays a large role in this. You're not scared when Morgan Barron, David Gustafsson, and Jared Anderson-Dolan are out there against the other team's best. And that's where I think the Jets still have more depth than St. Louis. You can say what they want. They're rolling at the right time. But every time the Jets were pushed this year, guys, at the down the stretch run, They answered the bell. They answered the bell twice against Dallas. They answered the bell against Washington. They went into Vegas and shut them out 4-0. Eric Carmer got the shutout there. So every time you sit there and go, oh, Dallas is coming around the corner. They got a tough game here tonight. Dallas is going to pass them. Winnipeg would answer. And then, they dominate Dallas in that last head-to-head matchup in the Big D. So I just think when they're pushed, it's because of the depth. And I'll go with Morgan Barron's going to be the unsung hero for the Winnipeg Jets when the dust settles. As a penalty killer, might be thrown into some power play time because of how long, depending how long it takes for Gabriel Velarde to get it back, and whatever the heck it is that Nikolai Ehlers throws into this mix here.
Jamie Thomas joining us, host of the official podcast of the Winnipeg Jets, Ground Control. And I just want to let you know, Jamie, that one of the two people you're looking at picked Winnipeg to go to the Stanley Cup final and win the Stanley Cup.
Because Reid just wants to stir up crap. That's why he knows.
Yes, he knows the game.
He's got the red button in front of him. He's just like poke, 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 poke. And look at him. He's so happy right now that he's got people all worked up. There is nobody more joyous when people are worked up than Reid. That's the best part.
Yeah,
he looks like a nice guy, but he just enjoys stirring up crap. And we love him for it.
It really is a bit of a masterclass, isn't it, Jamie?
Yes. He's putting on a show and you guys don't even know.
You just mentioned Dallas and how, Winnipeg rose to the occasion recently against them. I was, for me, that would be Dallas, Colorado. And what I'm talking about is a series that outside of, our Edmonton market would intrigue me the most. For you, obviously, it's Winnipeg, St. Louis that'll draw the ire for you. But what's another series, Western Conference or Eastern Conference, or maybe even one of each, that intrigues you the most?
Oh my gosh, like Washington, Montreal. Like it's just, Washington finishing first in the conference. You're not sure. Like what does Alexander Ovechkin have in the tank after pushing to pass Wayne Gretzky? Like it just, I don't know. But it's just like Washington is a team that's built for the playoffs. They're big, they're strong, they're mean. And that's exactly what you want. But Montreal comes in as a team that looked like they were out of it. And somehow, I remember asking a couple guys in Montreal, like, how long is the leash from Marty St. Louis? Like, how long does he get forgiveness for the Montreal Canadiens performance? Well, now he could pretty much become the mayor of Montreal right now for what they've done. And you throw in Ivan Demidov, like, that's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous ad before the playoffs. So that series, I think, is going to be highly entertaining. You're going to have to watch it. It's easy to say Toronto, Ottawa, but I'll be watching every second of Montreal, Washington for sure, because there's just so many storylines in there. Will Pierre-Luc Dubois rise to the occasion, which we've all been waiting to see, especially for people here in Winnipeg? He's had a great resurgence this year, but can he carry that over the playoffs? We're going to find out against the Montreal Canadiens. And certainly Samuel Montembeault, who was the third goaltender at the Four Nations face-off. That guy's elevated his game. And if there's anything Montreal loves, it's a great goaltender in the playoffs. And can he do that and put himself in those categories? And what we're going to find out. And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
All right, Jamie, we look forward to having you on the Reid Wilkins Show again. You've been a very great and generous guest over the, how long have we been on? 8.5 months, 7.5 months?
Yeah.
I don't know. But we love having you on. This is such an incredible, predictions aside, it'd be incredible to see the Jets do well. So I hope that there must be a ton of energy in the city. Soak it in, buddy.
The whiteout party already sold out for game 1 and 2. So it's just, the weather's not great either. It's like going to be 9 degrees tomorrow. So on Saturday, it's going to be 16 on Sunday. So they just wait. It's crappy on Saturday, but people won't care.
Jamie, are you much of a prediction guy?
I enjoy it when I'm right, but yeah. What do you want to ask me?
What do you
want me to predict?
Winnipeg, St. Louis. What do you got?
Oh, the Jets will win this in 6 games.
Okay,
there it is.
And I want to come on after it happens, because then I can just go, Reid, look what you said. You said they were going to lose.
Yeah, I tend to lose the predictions that I'm wrong about. Yeah, this tape will be deleted.
At least you have the guts to go out there and throw yourself out there and say, this is what I'm putting my name on. But I honestly think this team is a lot different and ready. And as much respect as I have for the St. Louis Blues, I'll take Connor Hellebuck over Jordan Binnington all day long. And we'll see how that goes from there. Because Hellebuck got snippy today. He was asked a couple of times about the Jets playoff ghosts and stuff like that. He's like, I feel you're posing a negative question. Like he's he's finding anything. And of course, everybody, are you tired? You're like, no. So he's ready.
He's not tired. No, these guys are.
They listen. They know what they're doing. It's not like they're going. Wade Flaherty and Connor Hellebuck understand. He takes a lot of days off at practice days. He didn't skate today at practice, so they understand what goes on here. He's in very good shape. So I think, and what I'm going to say now is the front runner for the Hart Trophy, with all respect to Leon Draisaitl.
Oh, wow. Jamie, you're the best.
Thank him.
Enjoy the series.
Yeah, you too.
All right.
Listen, beat the Kings. We're sad all this stuff. Oh, they're trying to hurt us. They're squad. Stop. Stop it. I know for a fact you guys are hiding players in the background. We're not hurt. Ta-da!
Oh, yeah, we got a bunch of healthy guys in our closet right here. We're sending down. Yeah, Trent Frederick's actually in our hyperbaric chamber right now. Here at EST. Yeah. Great.
Listen, with the amount of sponsors you guys have, I can imagine you guys have a hyperbaric chamber back there.
Oh, you're the best, man. Talk to you soon. Enjoy the series.
See you guys.
Jamie Thomas from the official podcast of the Winnipeg Jets. Ground Control. We love having Jamie on the show. I mean, look, we're making predictions. We're having some fun. Everything he says is right about the Jets. They are an awesome team. Hellebuck's not tired. They're probably highly motivated by any negative questions they're being asked about past seasons. But I do think St. Louis is really good. I do think this is going to be this might be, by the end of the postseason, we might look back and say, that Winnipeg St. Louis series in round one, that was actually the best series. It'll be great.
Why are you giving St. Louis so much credit?
Because they're good.
They've been good recently.
Yes, I think the coaching factor. I think Montgomery's just a good coach. He just gets the buy-in. He gets them to play a certain way. I mean, he had all that regular season success in Boston. Obviously, they flamed out in the playoffs. They're good. They got Broberg. They got Holloway. Sorry, everybody.
You always read.
Bronco Nick with a limerick to read at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The regular season is finally done. Oilers begin their long cup run. The Kings await their regular fate. Oilers won't stop till Stanley's won. That is good. Very good stuff. Bronco Nick coming through as a limerick all-star. I like that. The Kings await their regular fate. Oh, but Bronco Nick, don't you know it's impossible to beat a team 4 years in a row in the playoffs? We are in the banquet studio. Every Monday, bowl for just $2 all day at the banquet bar. Walk in, grab your friends, and start your week with some fun. Get real, play hard. The banquet. All right, the oil understood for GCL Diesel coming up. And we will make our Oilers Kings predictions.
It's go time.
And we will predict who will beat who in the Stanley Cup final. Thanks for checking us out on the audio streams through TuneIn Radio or iHeartRadio. If you're on YouTube, thank you. Subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk. And for the purposes of this show, don't delay any longer. Click that little thumbs up button. We want to get to 100 and we're just under 100. So we're on pace, but you can't be lax about it. You can't count your chickens before they hatch. Click away at that thumbs up. Here comes the Koob.
Seven games dot the NHL slate. Sidney Crosby and the Penguins take on Alex Ovechkin and the Caps for the last time this season. The Flames have a date with the Kings while Toronto plays host to Detroit. And after finishing the season second in rookie scoring with 63 points in 70 games, San Jose's Macklin Celebrini has committed to playing with Canada at next month's World Championship. And Neal Pionk and the Jets have agreed to a 6 years, $42 million extension. He had 39 points in 69 games this season, potting 10 goals. His Jets battle the Blues in Game 1, Round 1 on Saturday. In the CFL, the Elks continue to add to their roster ahead of rookie camp. They've added American defensive lineman Tamari Fox, American wide receiver Marshall Martin IV, and American offensive lineman Grant Smith and Mark Evans II. Earlier today, this sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their highly skilled crew. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance, get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Visit their website at AdvantageSportMed.ca. Reid and Jay, give their Stanley Cup final predictions as well as their Oilers-Kings series predictions. After the break, I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Downsizing, upsizing, or staging your home to sell? Sentinel Storage is Edmonton's team for affordable storage solutions. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Sentinel Storage, proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Must you click? Click. Must you click? Click.
Yes, the incredible Stanley Cup remix. Or no, that's not the Stanley Cup remix. That's the thumb click remix. If you're on YouTube, yes, keep hammering away at that thumbs up button. We have sailed past 100. Our next plateau, 130. We're about 20 away from that already. And then we want to get to 155. Should be able to do that, but everybody's got to get in there and click right away. We have predicted 7 of the 8 first round series. Okay? We will now discuss the Edmonton Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings, which starts Monday at 8 in Los Angeles. We will have the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7 with Tom Gazzola. Hernan Salas will be back for that one. Is that the BP Westgate one when they're on location for that one? We're going to be on location for, throughout the playoffs. Ice House for the home games in Ice District. And Koob's just putting it up on the screen there as well if you're on the YouTube feed. Game 2, Hudson's on Bourbon Street. Game 5, Hudson's White Ave, and we'll keep you notified of where we're going to be. But for the home games, it's the Ice House right in the Plaza. Is that what they call that? Yeah. The Oil Understood is presented by GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood.
That was aggressive.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yes, Quaddy in the Nasty Chat, by the way. I mentioned Dylan Holloway. Yes, he is still...
He's week to week.
He's still considered week to week. I was just double checking. So that's not great for St. Louis. But St. Louis is a good team. I think it's going to be a great series. All right. So, Oilers Kings. Here we go again. Look, I will say this. First of all, the biggest concern for me, or to my mind, what should be for Oilers fans, is the defense. Not how they play team defense, because I think they can actually do that fairly well when they lock into it. And I think we've seen that more lately. Like they kind of came out after the Four Nations face-off. They stunk. They sort of put their game together. And with the exception of that game in Seattle, I mean, the blowout loss to LA, I don't put much stock into. With the exception of the blowout loss in Seattle, they played fairly stout defensively. You know, there was back checking, there was sticks in lanes, there was pressure, there was responsible play. So I think that they have the mindset that they know how to do it. And I think for the most part down the stretch here, they did it. I mean, they had games without maybe David or Draisaitl, which they won or were in games. You know, they didn't lose when they lost 3-0 to Los Angeles and LA got an empty netter. They didn't lose because they couldn't defend. They lost because they didn't have enough offensive firepower in the lineup. But, you know, if you're playing Ty Emberson or Troy Stetcher or one or both over the course of a 7-game series, then maybe there's a weak link there. And somebody that's not as talented or in Emberson's case isn't as experienced with handling playoff pressure and that kind of stress that the Kings forwards can put on you. And their top 9 is pretty good. So to me, that's the biggest concern for the Oilers. I know a lot of people are going to say goaltending. Look, Stuart Skinner has to play better than he did for large stretches of the regular season. These last 2 starts for him were good. He didn't play great teams, but they were good. He's going to have to make the key saves and not give goals away. Of course. You know, of course, special teams, all that type of stuff. But I think if there's a potential weakness for the Oilers is, you know, who's going to be in their bottom pairing? How good is it going to be? And if it's not that good, how badly will it be exploited? And then if the top guys have to play even more, how much fatigue or extra body checks and bruises and stress does that put on them?
I'd say that's a fair point. And that is definitely on the minds of every Oilers fan. Reid, do you want to do a little, I don't want to say a game, but an exercise here?
Sure.
Okay. Comes down to, you know, we're going to leave power play and penalty kill out of it. Goaltending, who has the advantage?
Kemper.
LA.
Okay,
right?
LA, sorry, yes.
Defense, who has the advantage?
LA.
Forwards, who has the advantage?
Edmonton.
I agree 100% with you. So when you're looking at that, okay, they've got the advantage in goaltending, advantage in defense. But here's the thing, is they don't have McDavid and they don't have Draisaitl.
Right.
And to me, that's the difference. That's the difference. Now, Skinner, I don't think, and I would put my hand up and say, yeah, goaltending is a concern. And not so much for Edmonton. I think you're going to get Skinner around 900, 905 throughout the playoffs. Okay? It's Kemper. And can they score on Kemper?
Right.
That, to me, would be a major concern. But aside from that, you've got 2 of the best players in the world. You look at the depth that this forward unit has, and I'm not even, Frederick, I don't think is going to play on Monday. Maybe. I don't know, but it sounds like Kane will. So, I mean, you've got a potential 4th line of Henrique, Perry, and Janmark. A 3rd line of RNH with Hyman and Kane. I mean, this is a good squad. So I'm just saying the X factor being McDavid and Draisaitl. So that's why I'm going to go with Edmonton in 6.
I think this is a really compelling matchup. The Oilers, despite all the frustration with some of their forwards, with, let's face it, Skinner and Arvidsson leading the way for the most part, the Oilers still have 10 players in double-digit goals. Henrique with 12, Brown with 13, Bouchard with 14, Arvidsson with 15, Skinner with 16, Perry with 19, Nuge got to 20, McDavid 26, Hyman 27, and Leon 52. LA has 7 players who scored in double-digit goals. Okay? I do think, and I have this personal policy, and I said it with Dustin and Eric this morning, and I've said it for years. If I think a series is close, if it's a pick 'em, I will pick the home team. I will pick the team that in the city I'm covering, just to provide a little bit of optimism for the fan base. Why not? But I do think that you can throw out some of the things that happened with the Oilers late in the season just because they didn't have a full lineup. Ekholm is a massive loss, of course. But you're going to have McDavid and Draisaitl. You're going to have Hyman. Wallman's likely going to come back. Is he a direct replacement for Ekholm? Probably not, but he's still pretty good. I think the Oilers with the playoff experience will help. Yes, LA is motivated. Of course they're motivated. Every team that made the playoffs is motivated. Like, is LA extra motivated because this team knocked them out last year? I don't necessarily buy that. I don't buy that it's impossible to beat a team 4 years in a row. Okay? I really don't. I think the Kings are very, very good. I think the Oilers will be able to figure it out. As a matter of fact, I'm pushing my chips in on this series. Okay?
What?
Enough of this. Like,
are you opening the closet?
Look, it's great. It's great everything that LA can do. It's great. Let's not undermine what the Oilers can do. Okay? Let's not undermine that their players are going to be back. Okay? And that they're going to be... The Oilers are motivated. Like, well, the Kings are motivated because the Oilers beat them. Well, the Oilers are motivated because they went to the Stanley Cup final last year. The Oilers are motivated because of like McDavid the other day. Yeah, everybody's been writing us off as this beat-up little team that can't skate and is too old and isn't healthy enough. The first time they played 7. The second time they played 6.
Uh-oh.
Last year, 5.
Come on.
Oilers in 4, everybody.
Wow!
Write it down. They're going to sweep them. They're going to shock the Los Angeles Kings and the hockey world.
I can't take it anymore.
This is like an anaconda taking down a pig.
Reid.
Believe in me.
Wow. That's bold.
Thank you. Well, why not?
Why not?
If I'm going to pick the Oilers, I might as well just say I am picking the Oilers. I am picking the Oilers to sweep the Los Angeles Kings. If I'm wrong, and you know what, Jay? If I'm wrong, guess what? I'll be wrong. Do you know how many times I've been wrong in my life? A lot. Not just in broadcasting. Sometimes I'm wrong away from work too. And those wrongs are usually much more harmful than the ones on air.
Yeah. They actually mean something.
So I'm saying, why the hell not?
Why not?
Maybe I'll be the only guy that picks it. Then fine. Maybe I'll be. Maybe here's the thing. Well, I know a lot of people are thinking, well, Reid's going to look like an idiot. He's going to regret making that pick. What a stupid homer Reid is. Oh yeah, you know what? I might be the only person in the world who's right. That's how I look at it. I look at the optimistic side of it. I think the Oilers are good enough to win the series. If I think they're good enough to win the series, then to hell with it. I think they can win 4 in a row.
I think we found our clip, Koob, for the in between shows. We're going to have to cut that. Fascinating breakdown, Reid. I love it. I mean, why not? If you're going in, go all.
Well,
in.
here's what I'm like. I get it. We analyze the Oilers, okay, and there's a lot of like, oh, well, what if this happens, or what if Skinner lets in a bad goal? What if the Oilers' power play falters? What if Stetcher can't handle the heat? What if somebody else gets hurt? What if all that for Los Angeles? What if on Monday night it's 1-1 halfway through the third period and Kemper whiffs on a soft wrister from Arvidsson and it goes in? That changes everything about the series. You know, like look, everybody, the LA Kings are not perfect. It's not like Darcy Kemper isn't capable of letting in a bad goal. It's not like Drew Doughty can't be beat to the net. You know, what if McDavid goes off? And he's done it several times. Heck, he did it in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup final that the Oilers were supposed to lose at the time. He went out and got 2 goals and 2 assists and played arguably the best game of his career because of the stakes. What if he does that to LA? Then it's going to be like, how does LA stop this guy? That's as likely as happening as Kempe getting a hat trick or Byfield having a 2-goal game. It's probably more likely. And I remember once Craig McTavish said to me, he was a guest on my show for a year, but I talked to MacD sometimes. And he's like, of course, defending is important. Like he has that great clip from Jacques Lemaire that Jacques Lemaire would always tell young players, you know, remember there are 2 nets and they're both equally important. Yes. But you can't win a game 0-0 or -1, right? You can't hold the other team to 1 and congratulate yourself if you don't score at all. The Oilers have guys who can score. And Mac T said to me, It is the job of the high-end offensive players to break through tight defense and great goaltending. And the Oilers have two of the top, if you go by the scoring race, two of the top 4 or 5 guys in the league. And if we go by their reputation, maybe 2 of the top 3 over the last 5 years. I'd still put McKinnon way up there. And Kuchar. Okay, whatever. They got 2 of the top 5 guys.
Superstars
on the same team, right? So to me, this comes down to, wow, these teams are pretty equal. But in football, you'd say that team has the better quarterback. These teams are pretty equal overall.
That's
the
it.
Oilers have the superior star players who are paid to figure it out. And quite frankly, in the last 3 playoff years, they often have. And I know they won the cup, Reid. I know, but I know everybody. I covered the team. I was at the games. I'm aware of that. I'm aware that's going to be a blemish on them for a lot of you, for whatever. But they're great players. They will figure it out. I'm picking the Oilers in 4. To hell with it. Why not?
Reid, I'm so fired up. We got to do it now. Let's keep this train rolling. Let's do it. Let's unveil on the Reid Wilkins Show the Oilers playoff song.
Step inside Rogers Place. Play La Bamba. Baby.
Play La Bamba, baby.
We're a dangerous team when we're rolling, when we're healthy, and we are healthy.
Cup is on the line, baby, come and get it done. 16 wins, yeah, they're going on a run. Looking to advance, going deep in the dance. Hop on the bandwagon, let's hear the fans. The fans.
Special place to play, honestly. So much history, these fans. It's great to hear their sport.
Razzling and dazzling every single night. Clubs coming up, baby, gonna be a fight. 6 games, 5 games, how about a sweep? Ticket prices, yeah, they're gonna be steep, yeah! Yeah! Come on! It's the playoffs! Crank it up! It's the playoffs! Take the cup! Let's go win the Stanley! Ooh, gotta get the cup! Let's go win the Stanley! Come on, lift it up! Let's go win the Stanley! Waited long enough. It's time. No more wait for the oil. It's the fate, yeah. Listen, first gear, second gear, third gear, go. McDavid 97 needs a one-man show. Draisaitl, Alfredsson, gotta love the nude. Bush, Skinner, and Picks need to be huge. Be huge. Be huge. They gotta squeeze a little, squeeze a little, squeeze a little more. Get the bottom 6 to find a way to score. One time, overtime, gotta find a way. Jam-packed moss pit going insane. Yeah! Yeah! Cheer a little more. It's the playoffs. Crank it up. It's the playoffs. Take the cup. Let's go win the Stanley. Ooh, gotta get the cup. Let's go win the Stanley. Come on, lift it up. Let's go win the Stanley. Waited long enough.
The EST Hangout.
When it comes to fresh food at the table to be shared, there might be an agreement at the start, but things change once the food goes cold.
If it was in one bowl, you're in food sharing territory. You separated them and you went, we're not sharing this anymore. So now it's no longer a shareable thing, and you finished yours and you didn't let him finish his.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Spin to win Fridays at the Banquet. Every Friday, spin the wheel for a chance to win big and save on your bill. It's that easy. Spin, win, and save. Don't miss out. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
At Mind360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
With 7 games to wrap up the NHL regular season, 4 games go live in just a moment. Toronto hosts Detroit. The Islanders meet the Blue Jackets. The Lightning take on the Rangers, while Philly visits Buffalo. And from San Jose, Sharks' first overall pick, 18-year-old Macklin Celebrini is joining Team Canada for the upcoming World Championship in May. Elsewhere, Gavin McKenna and his Tigers look to sweep the Raiders in round 2 of the WHL playoffs. McKenna has 22 points in just 8 playoff games this season. And the Elks have signed 4 new Americans, agreeing to terms with 2 offensive linemen in Grant Smith and Mark Evans, while signing defensive lineman Tamari Box and receiver Marshall Martin. In baseball, there's 5 games wrapped up, with 2 games live, including the Guardians down 1-0 to the Orioles in the second, while at the end of the first, it's scoreless between the Tigers and the Royals. I'm Zachary Kubusch. That was your sports update. You're locked and loaded on the Reid Wilkins Show.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. We played the EST playoff song that Destin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric debuted on the Nielsen Show this morning. Let's Go Win the Stanley, to the tune of Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard. I loved it. I got a sneeze.
I love it too. Scott in a hotel balcony in Beaumont. I love you guys, but maybe leave the playoff songs to Dusty. To which
that is his song.
To which I said, we love our listeners as well, but that's a Def Leppard cover. It's getting played from time to time. That's your band.
He doesn't. So wait, he doesn't want it played on this show, or he thinks that we made it and it's not as good as he thinks we made it, and it's not as good as Dustin's other work.
I don't entirely know, but this was created by Dusty.
Yes.
This is a morning show song that is part of our, I guess, our playoff package here at EST.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Grumpy Cat says, Big Uke bailed on his hangout pick of Oilers in 4. I'm with you, Reid. Screw that magnificent, moltenest, magnanimous man.
Also, I made an error. Pre-game 90 minutes, and then our show goes an extra 30 minutes on game nights. So on Monday, you and I will go till 6:30, and then Tom will take over at 6:30 and go till the game starts at 8.
As it should.
Right. So that'll be fun.
Why not?
Why not? Just do it. We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
Keep hammering that thumbs up, by the way, on YouTube. We're 5 away from 130, which is a nice little plateau for us, because that means we're going to do a word of the day. We really want to get to 155, which is a double word of the day. No reason we can't get there. Definitely some people are withholding their thumbs this afternoon, so get in there and click.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb.
All right. So we asked you your predictions, and we're going to get to some of those on the Oilers and who wins the Stanley Cup. We did not give our Stanley Cup prediction. So just to recap, Jay and I both took Toronto. I took Tampa Bay. Jay took Florida. I took New Jersey. Jay took Carolina. I took Montreal. Jay took Washington. We both took Vegas. We both took Dallas. We both took Edmonton. I took the Blues. Jay took the Jets. For the Stanley Cup.
Well,
a team that's been okay. Oh, we know yours. Yeah,
I can't
yours.
change.
Right,
I'm stuck. New Jersey versus Winnipeg.
Well, it could happen. At least yours could happen.
It could happen. Yeah, there's a very slight chance. I'd say there's a good chance of one of those teams being there. But sure, New Jersey at Winnipeg with Winnipeg winning.
Right. Well, I get to do something new because my team didn't make the playoffs. My preseason pick was, my preseason pick was the Predators. When you can find Predators and pick, sometimes it's not a good word that comes out.
That's okay.
That's okay. So I'm changing mine entirely. I'm going to go with a team that is very, very good, very, very dangerous. I know they have an injury that they're dealing with, but they've been close the last couple of years. And on the other side of the draw, I'm going to go with also a very, very good team who I think is going to survive a first-round series and then make it to the Stanley Cup final, but ultimately lose. I will go with Dallas over Toronto.
Wow. I knew you had, you thought Dallas was pretty strong. I did not know that Toronto was going to be your Eastern Conference pick. Why Toronto?
Because I think that they have more experience than they've had in the past. I think they can play a heavier game than they have in the past, and I think they have a really good coach.
So they've got to get through one of either Tampa Bay or Florida. You think they could do that?
So they'll beat. Okay, you want to know what I think is going to happen? I even filled out the bracket on NHL.com. I think I closed it down. Here's what's going to happen. Montreal is going to beat Washington, and then they're going to upset Carolina, and the Leafs and Canadiens will play in the Eastern Conference Final.
Wow.
Now, look, if you're sitting there at work or at home or watching on YouTube or driving, and you're thinking to yourself, Reid, you're such a cheeky little loser. You're just picking things that you think are interesting to talk about on a Thursday afternoon, and that would make great stories if they came true.
Hello.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Are you telling me you wouldn't want to see Toronto and Montreal in the Eastern Conference Final? You're telling me you wouldn't want to see that? They played in the All-Canadian division in empty buildings, and the Canadiens upset them, right? You're telling me you wouldn't want to see these two teams play in full, jam-packed arenas in the league semifinals?
Wow.
Yeah, sometimes I just pick things that would be cool to happen. Dallas will beat, and I have Dallas knocking off the Oilers in the West final. So I think the Oilers, if they get past the Kings, then could get past Vegas. But then I think they'd run out of gas. And then Dallas beats Toronto to win the cup.
Wow, that would be amazing. A Toronto, Montreal,
Eastern Conference final. Like, think about that. With Edmonton on the other side of the draw, setting up the potential of an All-Canadian Cup final.
I don't even know if there's enough pundits or panelists to cover that, Reid.
Luke Gazdick would never sleep.
What would they do?
He'd have to move in with me. Or you. You're always wanting to have people over.
Yeah, fill my house, sure.
I just want everybody to take us. I mean, look, I know there's regular season games tonight. We're going to pick a game of the night. But this is the day when we can
dare to dream.
Usually I say, okay, we're not going to do 3 hours every day on what ifs because it gets exhausting. But this is the day we can do it. We're doing predictions. The playoffs haven't started. We got all these potential stories that could be written. So Oilers winning the Stanley Cup for most of our audience, because for the most part, we're speaking to Oilers fans wherever they are. I know we have Winnipeg STers and other people, but generally, we're speaking to Oilers fans. So the ultimate would be the Oilers winning the Stanley Cup in terms of a great fairy tale story. Yes. But I like to think, what else could happen that would just be effing cool? Leafs, Canadiens, Eastern Conference Final. Come on. I'm watching that.
Well, what about a Winnipeg Edmonton Western Conference Final?
Sure.
Let's dream. Dare to dream. Can you imagine?
We could get 4 teams. So one Canadian team is going to be out because Toronto and Ottawa are playing.
But you could.
But wouldn't that be awesome?
Oh my gosh.
Toronto, Montreal in the East, Winnipeg, Edmonton in the West.
That would be delightful.
Yeah.
Now the likelihood.
Those would be the same series that were in the first round in 2021. Why am I even saying
likelihood? We're dreaming here. We're dreaming, Reid. That would be awesome. Let's just say it. I'm changing mine. Montreal, Edmonton, Stanley Cup final.
Tom Gazzola's in the nasty chat saying, let's go. Charlie says, Toronto is not a winning team. Sorry, Reid, no Stanley Cup. Show up for the Leafs. I put money on that one. LOL. Well, you can. There are sites that allow you to do that.
Do that, yeah.
Yeah. But Charlie, how can you write off the Maple Leafs? They're first in their division. They have 106 points. They have a plus 36 goal differential. They finished 8-1-1. They're good. That's why, this team has no chance. No, every team has a chance. Every team has a chance.
Absolutely.
Maybe Minnesota's going in, few more question marks, maybe banged up, whatever. This is what's great about this time of year. So, yes, when I fill out my bracket, sometimes I'm just like, that'd be cool. I'm going to pick that. Why not?
Why not?
It means as much as anything else.
Reid, there's been a lot of submissions for predictions from our listeners to the River Cree inbox.
River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. The number is 780-218-9999.
Peter from New York City.
Oh, nice.
Oil in 6 over Kings. Oil over Panthers in 7. Stanley Cup final. Pickard wins the Conn Smythe.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah, that would be. Collingwood Rob. Oilers win Cup over Panthers. As the final buzzer goes in the final deciding game, Leon says in a thick German accent to Bobrovsky, I just broke you. That was Russian.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah,
he knows me. Yeah, he knows me.
What are you going to do? Looney Len. Okay, here's my prediction. The Oilers do win a cup. Unfortunately, they beat Ovechkin. Florida doesn't make it, and Stuart Skinner wins the Conn Smythe Trophy in the end. William Mike Spear. Hey, guys, predictions going by the trend. Oilers sweep the Kings. The Oilers over Ovi and the Caps in the finals. In the second round, hockey fans have aneurysms flip-flopping over which Kachuk brother to root against.
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
Big Uke. Oilers in 6. Edmonton over Tampa Bay. But if Oil don't make it, Tampa over Colorado. Biggest upset, Habs in 6, he says. I would also love to see Edmonton versus Winnipeg and Ottawa versus Montreal in the conference finals. But that would give Bettman a stroke. That comes in from Big Uke.
Bettman doesn't care who wins, guys. Bettman does not care who wins. Jay has no comment.
Well, clearly they would.
It's time to select our game of the night, presented by Playmore Tables and Games. From ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for, visit Canada's Game Room experts. Locations in Edmonton and Calgary are online at playmoregames.ca. Do we have the little thing?
Playmore Tables and Games.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go, girls.
Sorry, I was late with mine. My game of the night's Calgary, Los Angeles. The Flames could get to 96 points. Only a couple other teams have had that many points in NHL history and not made the playoffs. Panthers in 18, Canadiens in 19. They both went 44, 30, and 8. Jay is refusing to pick a game of the night with all the games in the NHL being meaningless.
No. I'm going NBA. There's a quasi-late game. No, there's no NBA
There's
tonight.
no NBA today.
Shoot. Oh, God. I'm going to watch reruns of American Idol. That's my game of the night. It's a competition. Look, my daughters love American Idol. We PVR every episode. So we've missed 2 weeks. We got to get caught up. I think they're already in Hollywood.
Well, I should say I'm not necessarily going to watch Flames and Kings. I don't know if I need to pre-scout the Kings. The players
and
that are going to be sitting out.
There's no school tomorrow for the kids. It's Good Friday, and the EST's not going to be on air.
No, we're not on tomorrow. Our live stuff will, there's no game Sunday, so we'll resume 6 a.m.
Well, Hello
Monday
Hockey.
morning.
Is there Hello Hockey?
Yeah, there's a Hello Hockey, of course, 10 a.m.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're going to probably get out some... okay, let me ask you this. If you're having maybe just a chill night, you got a movie night, popcorn,
Yes,
chips.
he was trying to think of people I would spend it with.
No. I know you're very recluse.
Reid doesn't hang out with anybody.
I know you wouldn't do that. You're a lone wolf. Oh! Popcorn, chips. What are we going to?
Well, as you know, I've been trying to limit that.
Well, let's
that
say
type of stuff. Chips and dip. Yes,
chips and dip.
Yes.
Yeah. See, we're a big popcorn house.
Okay.
We'll get that in like the air popper. Lots of butter. Enough salt. And actually, dill pickle seasoning.
Oh, nice.
Dill pickle in the shaker. Oh,
That
yeah,
would
it's
be good.
fantastic.
All right, we've made our selections. We've got to some of yours. Thanks for sending them in. Fun stuff doing predictions. I have irritated some people, but though I think a lot of people just like my Oilers in 4.
Reid, you inspired the whole city.
Well, thank you. Finally,
yes.
They finally listened to me.
Don't listen to anybody. You just took over. That was fantastic.
Don't delay anymore. Give us the thumbs up on YouTube. We're past 130, which is great. We're 24 away from our next plateau of 155. We should be able to get there if everybody who hasn't clicked in YouTube went in and clicked right away. Jay and I, of course, have been coming to you all afternoon from the Banquet Studio. Craving a late night snack? Check out the Banquet's new late night happy hour menu, Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. till close. Enjoy favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or the Banquet burger at happy hour prices. The Banquet, get real, play hard. We're going to have at least one word of the day. We'll have buying or selling for Damon Bunting. Jed Roberts, our buddy's going to check in as well. It's the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne.
Six games are live in the NHL. Alex Tuck has the Sabres up 1-0 over the Flyers. It's scoreless between the Red Wings and the Maple Leafs, while it's 1-1 between the Penguins and the Capitals. Connor McMichael scoring his 26th of the season for Washington. All of those games are early in the first, and after that, the Flames and Kings duke it out to close out the NHL regular season. And from San Jose, Sharks' first overall pick, Macklin Celebrini, who is second in NHL rookie scoring this season, has committed to joining Canada for next month's World Championship. And the Elks have signed 4 new Americans agreeing to terms with 2 offensive linemen in Grant Smith and Mark Evans, while signing defensive lineman Tamari Fox and receiver Marshall Martin. WHL playoff action, just one game dots the schedule. The Raiders are on the brink of elimination, being down 3-0 to Gavin McKenna and his Tigers. While in the MLB, there's 6 games wrapped up. 4 games are live, including the Guardians up 2-1 over the Orioles in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's scoreless between the Royals and Tigers midway through the 3rd, while the Yankees are up early 1-0 on the Rays in the 1st. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Visit findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. Jed Roberts joins us on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Bruce Boudreau joins us.
A 5-0 game against LA the other day. You can throw that out. You can throw it almost all the games. This is a new series. I think you're going to get the best of Connor McDavid, the best of Draisaitl. The only big thing you're missing is you're going to be missing Ekholm, and I think that's going to be a big miss.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by Southport Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Strike up some fun at the Banquet Bar. Bowling, drinks, and a great time with friends where the good times roll. Whether you're here to bowl or just hang out, the Banquet Bar is your go-to spot. Get real, play hard at the Banquet.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
The River Cree Resort and Casino presents Bump and Grind Rewind, May 16th, featuring Drew Hill. With Cisco and Genuine, plus DJ Hartman B. Bump and Grind Rewind. Friday, May 16th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
And there they go to Sentinel Storage. The snowblower and winter gear goes in. They shoot, we store.
Need extra space? Store your winter gear with Sentinel Storage and win extra space at home. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Must you click? Click. Must you click?
Okay, Bex Bezzozu says there are Black Mirror episodes again. I haven't watched Black Mirror for a while. I don't think I watched the last season that they put out. 780-218-9999, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. You can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Did I read all the limericks? I think I did. Yes, I did read them all. You can email Jay at EdmontonSportsTalk.com as well. In the nasty chat, you can chat with us and with each other. That's the chat feature on YouTube. I always worry like new people be like, what is this nasty chat? Like, where do I go for that? Do I have to be nasty? No, it's just our nickname, I guess, our moniker for the chat stream on YouTube for Edmonton Sports Talk. Did Dustin come up with that? He must have.
Oh, yeah. Those morning guys are sick.
They're just all over the place. You never know what's going to come out of their mouths next.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Time to dive into... Oh, I like doing this one because I like Damon Bunting. Buying or selling. Yeah, you've known Damon a long time, haven't you?
My whole life.
Really?
Literally.
Like when you were born, he was there?
He was there. He was the doctor.
David Bunting has been a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com. Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. Yes, we are approaching the Stanley Cup playoffs. There are a couple games on Saturday. The Oilers don't start until Monday. A very interested guy in, of course, the plight of the Oilers and the Stanley Cup playoffs is our buddy, EE Alum Jed Roberts. Jed, happy Thursday. How are you doing?
Feels like a Friday. Yeah, happy Thursday. Good to be here. I'm excited for the playoffs.
You know, seasons in the sport you played are a lot shorter, so you maybe get one, maybe two games that don't mean a lot. It's felt a little different like that lately for the Oilers. Do you put any stock in what's happened with the Oilers over the last 2 or 3 weeks, or even longer, quite frankly?
The one thing, and I've been saying this, I think the last couple of times we've talked, is I've just been really interested to see how those bottom six guys are playing, because those are the guys that are auditioning not only for the playoffs, but for next year, right? So it's been kind of fun to see the way Perry, I mean, if I'm the coach, I'm toying the idea of giving him the A, because the guy's been pulling this team along and he's on a heater. And, you know, I don't know, if you guys averaging 17 minutes a game and he scored 19 goals, like that's insane, right? I don't even, that's got to be a record or something. But, yeah, the guys that are stepping up right now, the Arvidssons, the Perrys, those are the ones you really want to have hitting their stride come playoff time. And I think we're seeing that. So wins and losses at this point, they're in the playoffs. That's all that matters. And I think if I'm not mistaken, they have a winning record in that arena in LA. So, anything can happen in the playoffs. And it often does.
They do. They've done better in LA in recent years in the playoffs than they have at Rogers Place. Yeah, for sure.
Jed, I want to know, there's, Reid and I have heard the sentiment, I'm sure you have as well, that, well, it's not in the odds that the Oilers can go and do this and beat this team 4 consecutive years in the playoffs. What do you say to that when you hear that?
I can give you 2 reasons why. You got Draisaitl and McDavid, and they don't. So, I don't really see anything that suggests to me that this year will be any different. I think that if everything plays the way it should, I think the Oilers will win again. But the thing is I think people are kind of forgetting that, there's a little bit of an injury bug, and every team kind of goes through that, except for the extremely lucky ones. Cough, 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 Winnipeg. If you got a team like the Oilers that are playing through injuries the way they are, but yet only finished 1 game off what they did last year to make the playoffs, that tells you something about the fortitude of this club. I like what they're doing. I like the guys, the next man up mentality. The 5-0 loss the other day against the Kings. I think that was a little bit of a strategical decision on the part of holding Connor McDavid out of there so they don't take liberties with them, and then putting him in last night so he could get his 100 points. I like it. I can't say anything negative about that. I think that we're going to see an awesome series. I think it's going to be an emotional series. I think it's going to be very tight. I think it's going to be very emotional. It's going to be all the things you want in playoff hockey, man. And the city's going to be on fire. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
I guess the biggest concern for me, Jed, and Jay and I talked about this early, is the Oilers' defense core and how that looks without Ekholm, because he's obviously a great player, but I've called him the dad of the team. To me, he's one of those players that if Matias Ekholm gives you a little nod or pulls you aside and tells you made a good play, it means a little more. Or if he gives you that little head shake and gives you the side eye, I disappointed Matias. So to me, he's a very big emotional leader for the team as well. Can somebody fill that void, or how do you look at losing a player of that magnitude?
Well, you don't feel that. The guy, I don't know if you spend any time on the internet, you've probably seen that Techno Viking meme where the guy, he's walking down the street and somebody gives him a bottle of water and he drinks the water and he's keeping everybody cool. And then he starts dancing, and that's Ekholm. He's the guy that kind of keeps everybody settled back there. When Bouchard does his thing that he's typically want to do 2 or 3 times a game where he just inexplicably goes off on his own. It's Ekholm that reels him back in, and he's the one that kind of keeps everybody steady back there. So without him there, I don't know, is Walman capable of doing that? I don't know. I don't know if we've seen a big enough sample size of Walman's play. We're going to have to get it from him, though. The guys like Stecker is going to have to step up. I don't know. Like I said, it's the next man up. And so you've really seen this team do that, I think, not by choice. Certainly the injuries are not something you really want or wish on anybody. But the fact that their mentality's been that way for the last 2-3 weeks, it's not like they're going to be all of a sudden, oh heck, we're playing next man up now, because guys are starting to get worn down. I think that, they don't have a choice. Somebody's got to step up and fill that role, whether it's Stecker. That's the beauty of playoffs. There's always the guy that comes right out of left field, or maybe the guy like Claude Lemieux that used to, you wouldn't hear from him in the regular season, and then all of a sudden he'd be your guy, right? So, and some guys are just wired that way, right? And so maybe there's a guy like that in this organization that has made himself known yet. And, we're going to see the history's littered with guys like that, Johnny on the spot, hey, it's your turn, kid. So we'll see.
Jed, I'm Jed Roberts joining us, former EE legend, I'll say, and Golden Bears football coach, amongst many other coaching, stops you had. Not everybody knows, but you were a coach of mine when I was at U of A and played with the Bears. You were there as a coach, and Jed, I always found you to be a guy I could go up to and ask, questions and lean on you for some advice, life advice. Maybe young Jay was in a tough situation and Jed would be there to hold my hand and guide me through that. Well, we had a listener send something in, and this is from Andrew the accountant, who's turning 30 tomorrow. So shout out to you, Andrew. Happy birthday. I want to know, he said, I'm turning 30 and would like some general advice for this new era. And I couldn't think of anybody better than to ask you this live on air. Jed, that's foregone for Reid and I and yourself, but if you could go back to 30, what would you tell young Jed, and what advice can you give to Andrew the accountant?
Drink more water.
That's it.
That's good advice.
No, that's great.
That's it, buddy.
That's it.
That's it.
Wow, words of wisdom from Jed Roberts. Brevity.
Water fixes everything, buddy. Yeah.
That's a pretty good point.
That's a pretty good point.
Well, a lot's going to be going on the frozen water, Jed. We'll have you on throughout the playoffs, of course.
We've got to get Jed's prediction on the series.
I didn't ask Jed's prediction. Okay, yeah, so we need... God, I'm an idiot. Because I'm so hyped up about my Oilers.
You're excited.
So
yes.
We need your Oilers prediction, Jed, and then who beats who in the Stanley Cup final.
Wow. Yeah, no pressure there, hey?
Oilers, you can just do Oilers Kings. Oilers in how many games against the Kings? I assume you're picking.
I'll do Oilers in 6. The first round, they're going to beat the Kings in 6 games.
Okay. All right. You can text me your Stanley Cup final pick, and we'll put it on Monday. Okay.
I will do that.
Yeah.
I have to sit down and think about that. That's that's a tough one. It's going to be a long playoff run here, boys. It's good. I'm here for it. I love it.
Right on. We'll see you soon, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Drink some water.
Everybody drink more water. Well, I'm always drinking water. I used to not drink water at all during the day at work. I don't know how I survived.
I love water. Water is my favorite drink by far.
Solid.
It is. You can never go wrong with water.
I always need water in the night when I wake up. I think I sleep with my mouth open and I'm just completely dried out. Sometimes my tongue feels like it's stuck to the roof of my mouth. Have you ever had that sensation?
No.
It's just so dry. It's you couldn't even talk.
Yeah, I don't drink a lot.
The show's at 3 p.m., not 3 a.m.
You got that right. I'm not one to drink that much water. I'll have a cup of water before bed, but I've never got up in the middle of the night and had a glass of water beside my bed.
I keep a glass of water behind my bed. When I wake up in the middle of the night and then in the morning, I am just parched.
Yeah, I'll have a good pull off a water bottle in the morning.
Okay.
I'll take down 3/4 of water.
Well, but in the middle of the night, I'll wake up extremely thirsty in the middle of the night. Maybe I got a problem. Some doctor is going to go in the nasty chest Reid, you better call me.
Do you pee? Do you expel the water?
Yes, I do pee.
Well, then that's fine.
I usually get up to pee in the night too.
Well, then things are functioning properly. I'm the doctor. There you go.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, I got your back.
We need 15 thumbs on the YouTube feed in about 12 minutes. I'm not sure why people are delaying. Those people out there who, there are people out there who probably think they're being kind of coy, right? They're sitting there watching on YouTube. Maybe they're even posting in the nasty chat.
Yeah.
And they're thinking, oh, I'm just not going to do what these guys are saying about this thumb. Well, I got some news for you.
I know who you are.
I thought you were going to play the long one.
Where is the longer one? Oh, here it is.
I know who you are. Jason Milne of the Reid Wilkins Show, 3 to 6 p.m. on Edmonton Sports Talk. Have you come at long last?
Mr. Milne, I can't help but notice that you have not approached me, the bookbinder of Alberta, the last one, for his playoff predictions. Luckily, I've brought them, bound together page by page in a book of my own making. Look upon these hands, Jay. These hands were not made to score a goal or perform a sauce pass. No, these hands will never lift the Stanley Cup or gleefully pat the buttocks of a triumphant teammate. No, these hands, these fingers are for binding books, Jay. Look upon my predictions, won't you?
Does the bookbinder predict Oilers in 4?
Well, I'm confident about the team, Jay. Am I as confident as your colleague, Reid Wilkins? I must admit I am not. But I do think the Oilers will once again commit a little regicide.
Oh, jeez.
And I do think it'll be difficult and tense, and I'm taking the Oilers in 7. In Game 7 overtime, even, with Jeff Skinner scoring the dramatic series-winning goal. What a book he will be able to have bound. First time in the postseason, and he'll score a Game 7 winner.
Little visit from the bookbinder of Alberta. The last one.
Literally.
He really likes you. He likes you a lot.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that now.
Why?
I thought it was friendly at the start.
Maybe he'll come stay at your house.
No.
Too many candles.
Well, yeah, I would contemplate having the bookbinder over for a weekend. That would be what a weekend that would be.
Yeah, it would. Be a lot of binding.
Yeah, I wonder if he'd
I don't think he takes a lot of days off
of having me and the girls around and take advantage of the free help.
And does he go to somebody's house and look at their book collection and be like, point out the books that need to be rebound?
Yeah. I know a guy.
I see your copy of Eye of the Needle by Ken Follett appears to be.
What I thought
that's a book.
That's an actual book, isn't it? I think Ken Follett wrote that book. Can someone send me Ken Follett's bibliography? I need to know every book Ken Follett ever wrote. Okay? We got to have a Ken Follett. I think my dad read Ken Follett. I remember there being Ken Follett books. Because he wrote like spy books, didn't he? The Key to Rebecca? That's a good title, eh? The Key to Rebecca. That just makes you want to read that book.
The Pillars of the Earth.
But he wrote
Fall of Giants.
Yeah, he wrote Eye of the Needle, and then Donald Sutherland was in the movie version of Eye of the Needle.
The Century Trilogy Trade paperback box set is on sale at Amazon.
Oh, really?
$77.52.
I think we need to make Ken Follett the official British author of the Reid Wilkins Show.
What if he's a distant relative of the bookbinder?
That'd be incredible. Yeah. That would be
my
incredible.
Second cousin, twice removed.
Okay. Hey, you nasties are great. You're rallying on the YouTube stream. We need 5 more thumbs. Find those thumbs somewhere. Take your neighbor's thumb if you had to. Click that thumbs up button. Also, if you're getting us through the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn Radio app, we appreciate that as well. If you're getting us in the future on a podcast, thank you. And remember to subscribe to the Reid Wilkins Show, the Nielsen Show, EST Afternoons, all our great programming, wherever you get your podcasts. So Monday, a reminder, and I needed to be reminded because Matthew texted me after I read I gave the incorrect times. Well, not the incorrect times. I didn't give the extended times. So on game days for the 8 o'clock games, let's start there. We'll go until 6:30, and then Tommy will take over at 6:30. So we won't have that gap between 6 and 7. 90 minutes of pregame and 3.5 hours for this show. Well, that extra half hour is going to be completely on the rails. Don't worry.
Oh, we'll be breaking everything down.
All right. It is 5:39. Here's the final sports update of the afternoon with Zachary Kubusch.
Six of the last 7 NHL regular season games are underway. Adam Gaudette with his 18th has Ottawa up 1-0 over Carolina. The Flyers trail 2-0 to the Sabres while it's scoreless between the Rangers and the Lightning with all 6 games nearing the end of the first period. Elsewhere, Gavin McKenna and his Tigers look to sweep the Raiders in round 2 of the WHL playoffs. McKenna having 22 points in just 8 playoff games. And the Elks have signed 4 new American players agreeing to terms with 2 offensive linemen in Grant Smith and Mark Evans, while signing defensive lineman Tamari Fox and receiver Marshall Martin. In soccer, Canada's head coach Jesse Marsh has been given a 2-game ban after he was ejected from a third-place match against the United States last month at the CONCACAF Nations League. 3 games are live in baseball, including the Yankees up 1-0 on the Rays in the second and the Tigers holding the Royals 3-0 in the top of the second inning. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding area since 93. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they got plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. The final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show brings us back On the other side of the break, I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Okay, we're going into the Easter long weekend. Of course, Good Friday tomorrow, so we are off here at EST. We're back at it on Monday, leading into that game one between the Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings. That'll be an 8 o'clock game, but the playoffs do start on Saturday. So what do we have? Dallas, Colorado, and then Winnipeg, St. Louis are the Saturday games. Oh, we made 155 thumbs. Well, the bookbinder shows up. All of a sudden, people are happy, right? If you've been texting us this afternoon, you've been using the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, 780-218-9999. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant, all-you-can-eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 to 10 p.m. So we will have a double word of the day in a few minutes. Jay, you keep an eye on the text line. You know what? Most of the last few weeks, what have we been getting messages? The Oilers are doomed. The Oilers can't do this. The Oilers suck at this. This guy's hurt. I don't like this player. I don't like the coach. I don't like the GM. I don't like the farm system. I have seen very few people picking the Los Angeles Kings. And there's some messages on the Nasty Chat anyway. There's a couple people have been like, you've been running down the Oilers for 2 months and now you're picking them in this series, which is kind of interesting. I know a couple people have said, look, Reid, the Kings are better. The Oilers this, and this. I get that. What's your consensus? Is there sort of most people pick the Oilers on the text line too, haven't they?
No, it's overwhelming, the consensus. 4-2 Oilers. Oilers in 6.
Basically, Oilers in 6 is the popular one. That's what you took. That's what Jed took.
Yeah.
I went out on a limb. Why not? Took Oilers in 4.
Well, bonus points for that, for sure.
Do I get bonus points for that, or do I just look foolish? We're about to find out. Yeah, we're about to find out.
No, 100%.
Well, I could be wrong after game 1. Your prediction, we won't know your prediction is wrong until game 3 at the earliest.
That's right. Sheldon, not in a white garbage truck, says, Reid, you should try some electrolyte mix during the evening. Help me not have to wake up every night to go pee.
Okay. What would be in that? But
I think it's like sodium.
Okay.
Athletes will have electrolytes to stop them from cramping up,
but not a sport drink, because those are quite sugary, aren't they?
You can get electrolyte packs.
Oh, really?
And you just
White powder.
white powder, bruh. Martin,
okay, no, seriously, I didn't know about that. Thank you.
Martin in the River Cree inbox 7802 and 899.99. The Bookbounder sounds like the name of a serial killer in a 1990s Steven Seagal movie.
No comment, Jay.
Yeah, it is. You know what? It's one of these things where, nasties can pick on the Oilers and tear them down and break them and, pick the nit as much as they want. But how dare you choose the Kings to come out on top? I mean, that's what you're going to do. At the end of the day, I think most people listening to this, like you said, there's the odd Winnipeg fan, but most people here love the Oilers.
Yes.
Right? So I'm not surprised that it is overwhelming in favor of the Oilers, but the tone has changed. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, and now it's one or the other. Either the Oilers are going to win or the Oilers are going to lose. So you can still think they're a flawed team and have criticisms of them, but think, well, you know what? I think they beat the Kings over the next 2 weeks. Is there a consensus Stanley Cup winner, or are most people taking the Oilers?
Yeah,
we saw a couple Lightning, I think, come in.
Lightning or to be honest, Florida. That's who most people think are coming
out of the East anyway, or maybe even winning the Cup. Interesting. There were definitely a couple Tampa Bay, Florida, and Carolina in the nasty chat. I don't think anybody agrees with me about the Leafs. But for Western Conference teams, people were still going with the Oilers to either win or lose the final then?
Yes.
Okay. We have Jets fans who would take the Jets.
Of course.
As they should. Why not?
Well, and to be honest, Jamie Thomas was quite... he sounded confident. He did not share your thoughts. He thinks this is a different Winnipeg team that's going to get it done, and so do I.
Well, I agree with all that. I mean...
Yet you took St. Louis to win in 6.
Well, why wouldn't I?
That's true.
I'm not going to take the same as you in every series.
True. Well, my New Jersey Devils pick stinks.
They'll I don't know.
What do we know?
I don't know if they can beat Carolina, but you got to stick with them. I think if you took... I don't like it when people make... I guess for us, we really only made preseason predictions, and then we're making predictions now. So if you wanted to change your Stanley Cup pick, because some people make 6 predictions along the way, and then they're like, see, I told you January 11th that team was going to win the Stanley Cup. Yeah, but then you told me February 4th it was going to be somebody else, and March 6th you said somebody else. Remember when I saved the standings from January 31st?
I do, yes.
So let's see who was in the playoffs, a playoff spot on January 31st, and see if they made the playoffs. Okay?
Okay.
Florida.
Hang on.
Toronto, Ottawa, Washington, Carolina, New Jersey, Tampa Bay, Columbus. Because remember, I was kind of mocking the so-called
what was the day
U.S. Thanksgiving deadline. So I was like, I'm just going to save the standings on January 31st.
What deadline are you going to call that? The Chinese New Year deadline?
The January 31st deadline. So Montreal got in. Montreal was 4 points out of a playoff spot on January 31st. Western Conference, Winnipeg, Minnesota, Dallas, Oilers, Golden Knights, Kings, Avalanche, Flames. St. Louis made up 7 points and got in. So so what's the thing on American Thanksgiving? Well, 13 or 14 of the teams in the playoffs on American Thanksgiving wind up getting, you got to be in a playoff. Well, okay, I just proved.
You proved that wrong in
January 31st. It's also 14 of the 16 playoff teams get in. Okay?
Wow. You know what's interesting to think about too? Is because there's no programming on EST tomorrow for Good Friday, the next time, the whole day will be EST programming is on Monday, on game 1, game day.
It's perfect.
Wow. We're going to be fueled up that day. Did you hear about that?
Is that the day we're getting Fox?
Fox Coffee is
That's a cool spot. I went there to pick up the coffee and donuts about a trade deadline day.
Right.
It's a really nice spot. It's right on 104th Street, just north of Jasper Ave by about half a block maybe. I hadn't been in there before. I'd heard of it. Really nice spot.
Now, it's not Fox. Like, what does the Fox say?
Yeah, is it
F-A-W-K-E-S?
Right.
Check them out, bro.
Yeah.
Kyle, maybe we should have recommended that to Kyle. for next time he's in Edmonton.
We'll just take him there.
Sure.
Let's see if we can push to 170 thumbs by the end of the show. We have got past our goal of 155. So don't stop. Keep clicking the thumbs up. Word of the day time, baby.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
Believe in me.
Koob just mixing in Jay Milne singing. Nice.
The first word of the day, sobriquet.
Let's go, girls.
Sobriquet.
Sobriquet. Oh, we forgot Koob's picks. Let's do them now.
Koob,
what are your picks?
Put me on the spot here. For the Oilers, I think they'll get past the Kings in 6 games. It'll be a tight series. It could go 7, but I see it being done in 6. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl are the determining factors in that. The Kings just don't have a superstar, which puts the Oilers over the edge because they have 2 of them. Not just 1, but they have 2 bona fide superstars. For the Stanley Cup final, I had prior to the start of the season, I had the Rangers beating the Avs. I'm going to stay with the Avs notion, but in the East, I'm going to go Tampa because they know how to win. To win. So they're going to win over the Avs.
So a rematch of, was that 2022 when the Avs won, but the other team winning?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks. Sorry, I was supposed to get you in on those earlier.
It's all good, man.
Let's go, girls.
Sobriquet.
Wow.
Because I've seen this word, but I don't know if I know what it means. I'm going to say it's a joyful journey. Yeah.
Oh, you suck.
Sobriquet.
Jeez.
A person's nickname.
Oh, right. I should have known that.
Second word of the day.
Yeah.
Hang on a sec. I just got to double check.
Women lie.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. I was getting it confused. Anathema. Anathema.
What?
Anathema.
Anathema. I've seen this word too, but I don't know how to. Anathema.
This is a noun.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm sure at some point in my life I've looked this word up. Is it kind of like a pox or a plague?
No.
Is it kind of like anything?
No.
Should I just never try word of the day again?
Yes.
Well, I got 2 points for the spellings.
Yeah, you did. You're at 3 out of 4 right now, even if you...
No, I'm not. I didn't get the definition.
Oh, right. You're at 2 out of 4, bro.
Right. What does anathema mean? You're using it in a sentence? Quick, do we have time? We got time.
Something or someone that won... oh, gosh, I just get...
Oh, okay, just do the definition.
Racial hatred was an anathema to her.
Something that is despised or rejected? Okay.
Something or someone that one vehemently dislikes.
So something that is despised.
I guess.
Okay, but I didn't get it.
2.5.
No. 2 points. I was all over the spellings.
2.25.
2.2. I'm going to give you like 2.17. Okay.
And the Russian judge scores.
Make it so, number 1.
Okay. Absolute blast of a show, everybody. Thanks for going on the ride with us. Jay and I had a great time. Koob did as well. He looks like a gleeful child celebrating the show.
Oh. Sorry, Koob.
So have a great long weekend. If you're celebrating Easter with your family or in any other way, we wish you the best with that. If you got some time off, hope you make the most of it. There will be hockey to watch. There's basketball to watch. Tomorrow's back to the play-in. I just keep hearing the Lakers are playing set. Like, is everybody here obsessed with the Lakers except me?
No.
I don't know. Okay. A couple people are. All right. Happy Easter. Oilers play Monday night. EST resumed. Well, there's happy Hello Hockey Saturday. EST Monday, full day to get you ready for Game 1. On behalf of the Koob and the Glue Guy, I'm Reid. Take care.